Welcome, chat, to a brand new live stream. How are we doing today on this fine Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday night. It is, my God, it's a little bit past 10 p.m. in my local time zone, so it is insanely fucking late today. Yeah, welcome on in, chat. Hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully your week has been going okay. It is the middle of the week. It is hump day, and I hope you guys are surviving pretty well and able to make it just 2 more days until we get a beautiful Saturday and Sunday to rest, relax, unwind, that sort of stuff. Welcome on in, chat. We have basically day five of our official very first kind of mostly blind playthrough of Lies of P, and I'm very excited to get on started with progressing through more of the game after our previous live stream where we defeated a boss by the name of Andreas, the Archbishop, who so far he has been the worst boss to fight in the entire game so far. I'm not going to jinx it any further because I know for a fact that there's going to be even worse bosses to exist in the game, but yeah, we did make some good progress during the previous live stream. Yeah, welcome on in, everyone. So, chat, there's a couple things to talk about. I don't know if it's gonna be too lengthy. I think I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Basically, first and foremost, if anyone out there is a little bit confused, like, oh wow, this streamer is going live on a Wednesday, like what's going on? This is definitely not the usual schedule. Just as a reminder, so last week, or I should actually say maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, there was a Sunday that I was supposed to stream, but I didn't end up streaming, and that was because I believe on that Sunday I had a group project, and I worked on that group project during the daytime, and because I did not get enough sleep the night before, I felt like dog shit the entire day, so I was not able to go live and stream. Just wasn't able to do it. So on Sunday, I did not stream, not this past Sunday, but the one before this past Sunday. And then this past Friday, I also was not able to stream just because I spent some time hanging out with friends, IRL. And I also had a very annoying thing happen before I was hanging out with my friends on Friday, which honestly, it really kind of ruined my day. It soured my mood a lot. And if you guys are curious about what the heck it was, you can go back and watch my previous VOD about it where I talk about the incident. I don't want to talk about it again. I don't want to dive into details again, just because, every time that I think about what happened, it gets me really, annoyed and frustrated and pissed off. So I want to kind of forget about it. I want to move on, right? But yeah, so long story short, there were 2 days in the past 2 weeks that I was supposed to stream, but I didn't. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a makeup stream. I'm gonna reschedule for a random day when I am not normally streaming. I'll do a sort of makeup stream on that day. And I wanted to see if I could do it twice. I wanted to see if I could do 2 rescheduled makeup streams. I don't know if that is going to happen this week. I think that, obviously here I am today, I'm streaming, right? And it's Wednesday, it's a spontaneous day for me, and this is, going to be counting as one of the days that I'm sort of making up, but I don't know if I'll be able to go live tomorrow to stream again. So what I might do is, maybe tomorrow I take the day off, and then, of course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are days when I'm scheduled to stream, right? And then next week, maybe on, Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, I do my second, makeup stream, right? But yeah, I just wanted to, like, put that out there, let you guys know, explain the situation. That way nobody is lost and everybody's on the same page. Let's see. Okay, so one piece of great news that I can share with you guys, for those who don't know, basically, Twitch is going to be implementing this policy update, and it's going to be taking effect on April 19th, which is a little bit away from now. It's maybe about, I want to say, 2 or 3 weeks away from now. And, some people might say that that's very soon. Some people might view it as quite far away. I see it as pretty soon. I don't know. My perception of time is a little bit unique, a little bit wacky. But, I look at April 19th and I'm like, okay, that is basically, it's within the next month, and it's the middle of April. Right now it's basically almost the beginning of April, so we have a little bit of time. And basically what Twitch is going to be doing is they're going to be deleting highlights and uploads that you have on your channel if you have more than 100 hours worth of highlights and uploads saved, right? And you are not, well, actually, sorry, I was about to say if you are not a partner, but the thing is that this actually applies to partners as well. Partner streamers are also affected by this. So everyone on Twitch is going to be, you know, under scrutiny, and they are going to be, their channels are going to be reviewed, right? With that change, which is happening on April 19th, I have been, you know, I started basically exporting all of my Twitch highlights over to YouTube. And so far, things have been pretty good. You know, I've been getting them over one by one, slowly and surely. I've had a couple of annoying things happen. Like, for example, sometimes, so I had these, like, old Twitch highlights where, you know, let's say there was a day when I was streaming, and all of a sudden, my stream just died. You know, maybe it was because my internet, maybe it was because there was a power outage, whatever, right? If my stream died and then I came back and I did like a second stream on the same day, right? Then obviously I'm gonna have two separate VODs on the same day. So what I needed to do is I needed to take those two separate VODs and combine them into one, and then, you know, upload it to YouTube. So I had to do that. I also had, this was really, really, you know, this has been something that has been happening. It's not like just a one-time thing. Basically, there is a particular YouTube channel out there. And I talked about this YouTube channel previously in a previous Twitch VOD, but the Twitch channel is run by some person, right? Or some entity or whatever, by the name of Addy or 80 Goldstein, right? And to be honest, like, I don't really know much about who this person or who this entity is, but based off of, you know, what I've seen of this person on YouTube, I think that they might be Middle Eastern, or they might be like Indian, right? Because yeah, when I look at like basically their profile picture and you know the sort of like visual details that they reveal about themselves on YouTube, it definitely does not look like they are some kind of American or some kind of, you know, European or Asian like Southeast Asian person, right? They look like they are Middle Eastern. They look like they are possibly Indian. And this particular YouTube channel, Addy Goldstein or 80 Goldstein or however the hell they want to pronounce it, they keep on trying to copyright my like live streams where, you know, basically, so to explain what they've done, I think what they did is they created a 5-hour long video where it has a bunch of different video game music from all different types of video games, right? And they've named that video, the 5-hour long video, they call it like classic video game arcade music or some bullshit like that, right? And it's a 5-hour long video filled with different music tracks. And I think, right, my theory is that this person, they have this video either private or unlisted. And so when you try to search it up on YouTube, you cannot find it, right? And what they've done is that anytime that a video, such as mine or such as someone else's, anytime that a video kind of is reported to this YouTube channel saying like, hey, someone out there might be using your content, right, in the 5-hour long video, they try to claim copyright and try to basically siphon revenue, siphon money from the video, right? So this, like, you know, Addy or 80 Goldstein, you know, moron, this imbecile on YouTube, they've been trying to copyright my live streams. Like, I think once every 5 or 10, you know, Twitch highlights that I export over to YouTube, they will try to copyright claim it, right? Now, thankfully, their efforts are really, really shitty, just like really, really badly done, because, right, every time that this moron tries to copyright, you know, copyright strike, or not even really copyright strike, but they try to, you know, label my stream as using copyrighted content or whatnot. Basically what I do is I edit the you know, video, right? So one thing that I've done in the past is I have taken the video and I, you know, downloaded it locally, and then I took the video, I put it at 1.25 times speed, and then I re-uploaded it. And they were not able to claim anything, right? They were not able to touch that brand new upload. The other thing that I've done, which is also very nice and very, very simple, very easy, is basically sometimes with your uploads, YouTube will give you the option to like mute the song, right? Mute the musical audio that is in your video. And assuming that YouTube is not acting like crap and is not, being difficult to work with, what YouTube can do occasionally is they can basically use their editor to erase the music audio specifically, but then any other audio, like my voice talking, right, my vocals, right, they will keep the vocals in the video, right, hypothetically. I don't know how fancy, the YouTube editor is. I don't know how good quality it is, but basically anytime that I select that option where it's like I ask YouTube to remove the music and keep my voice, keep my narration, every time I've done that, it gets rid of the copyright problem, right? Like there's no ability for this Addy Goldstein person to try and copyright my video, right? So that's really, really nice. The only like downside about having to do that is every time that I have to ask YouTube to erase the music, YouTube always takes an extra long amount of time to go through it and to edit the audio out of it. So it probably takes the the length of the editing process, and you kind of basically multiply it by 2, right? So if it takes like hypothetically half an hour to edit your video and make it to where it is viewable in good HD quality on YouTube, then it probably takes like 1 hour or 1.5 hours to remove the song and make the video playable and watchable, right? So yeah, that is like, that's a disadvantage, that's a downside, but the silver lining, at the very least, is that this Addy Goldstein fuckface on YouTube who's trying to, steal revenue from other people, they're not getting shit. They're not getting any money from me whatsoever. Even if I did earn any money, because honestly, I don't think I'm earning anything. I think I'm probably, if I earn any money at all, I probably earn pennies, like less than, 10 cents per video or something like that, right? So, yeah, it's not really anything impressive whatsoever. But yeah, so with regards to, obviously exporting things from Twitch over to YouTube, the one very good news that I can share with you guys today is that we have finally gotten underneath the 100-hour limit. So right now, as it stands, assuming that I do not create any more highlights or uploads, we are good to go. Like, we wait until April 19th happens, and then after April 19th, when they finish deleting all of the extra highlights and uploads from other people's channels, we should be able to, continue creating highlights in the future. I hope. I don't know. But what I will say is that, like, from now on, right, moving forward, especially starting on April 19th and onwards, any VODs that I know for a fact I want to keep, and I want to save it, and I want to, have it available permanently, right? Those VODs, I am going to just immediately export them to YouTube instead of trying to save them as a highlight, because, I feel like basically what Twitch is doing is, they are kind of just giving a warning to all of the small Twitch streamers who are not Twitch partner, and they're saying like, hey, we see you. You are not allowed to basically abuse the highlight system that we have. We are going to delete your stuff if you try to abuse it, And so, yeah, I think that because Twitch is making this update to their policy, I feel like they're just taking on the role of a villain, and I don't really want to... I don't want to test the waters, I don't want to try to, do things that might get me into any sort of trouble with my content, in the future. So it's like, well, if Twitch doesn't want small streamers like me to use the highlight system, then I guess I'm just gonna move it all to YouTube and say, fuck Twitch, But yeah. So that's some good news. Right now, so, I'm currently working on uploading there are, I think, 3 different Twitch highlights that I'm exporting over to YouTube, and all of these highlights are regarding my very first time playing the game Undertale on my channel. You know, my very, very first playthrough of that game. And so once I finish those 3 videos, I'm you know, completed exporting them to my YouTube. I don't really have to export anything else. Like, I'm not forced to. However, after I do the Undertale, you know, export, I will start to work on exporting my Lies of P VODs over to YouTube. I'm gonna do that as fast as possible, so that they don't get, you know, completely deleted and just removed from the entire history of the internet, right? So yeah, and then once we do that, you know, once we are able to start getting the Lies of P VODs over, we will be in a good place, and I will no longer need to worry about my my previous historical content on my channel. So that's some good news. That's some good news to share. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, that's right. So another thing that is definitely completely unrelated, chat. You know, I mentioned this very briefly in my Twitch stories, so if you guys check my Twitch stories every once in a while and you see whatever I post on there, then you will probably already know about this, but I'll tell it anyways, because, you know, it's good to share it to anyone out there who does not consume the Twitch stories. So, last Friday, when I got to meet up with some very dear friends of mine, both of my friends, they really, really, really highly recommended that I watch a TV show called Severance. And I was like, okay, I'll watch the show, right? And I had to figure out a way to basically get access to the TV show, because I don't have Apple TV, and I probably never will, because I don't pay for subscriptions. I think that subscriptions are a fucking scam, and they always will be. So I had to find a way. And I got a little bit creative. I went online, did some research, tried to figure out where I can get these, you know, TV episodes, right? Eventually, I found a website, and I was able to grab the episodes from there, right? Now, the biggest problem that I ran into, right? The biggest problem that I discovered was that basically the files that I downloaded, right? They were in a file format which is called MKV, and I don't know exactly what is the full, you know, title of that file format. Like, you can probably Google the acronym and be like, what does MKV stand for, right? But MKV is basically a type of video file format, and I believe that MKV, you know, it is different from MP4, which MP4 is basically the universal video file format. Like, it is recognized all across the world, and basically every single program that works with videos recognizes MP4, right? MKV is a lot more specific, and only certain programs, certain applications and whatever work with MKV. You know, can read MKV files, can edit MKV files, that sort of a thing, right? So, you know, I had these files for Severance, and, you know, I could watch Severance on my computer using some very specific video programs, right? But I wanted it to be more universal, where, like, you know, let's say that, hypothetically speaking, I were to find a way to watch the Severance TV show on my TV, then, you know, obviously, if that were to happen, I would need the video files to be in MP4 format, just because, like, TVs that exist in the world, they cannot read MKV files, right? So I was like, okay, I need to find a way to convert these files. And at first, I was like, okay, I'm going to use VLC Media Player, which, if you guys don't know what VLC is, it is basically one of the most, like, original, the oldest video player applications to exist out there. It was, you know, created probably, like, you know, 4 or 5 decades ago, or some crap like that, and it's been around forever. And one of the, you know, really, really impressive things about VLC is that, unlike other video programs, right, you are able to convert a video file from one file format to another, right? So that is like the special, you know, cool thing about VLC. That is probably one of the main reasons to use the program in 2025, right? So I was like, okay, I will use VLC to convert these files from MKV to MP4. And I remember I started converting one episode, right? And the one episode that I basically, yeah, the one episode that I was like converting over, I can actually check and see like what the size of it is. Give me a second here. So if I go here, oh come on, File Explorer, don't take 20,000 years to fucking open. Um, okay, yeah. So here's the thing, chat. Um, basically, every single episode of season 1 of Severance, right? Each separate individual file for each episode, right? So one file for episode 1, one for episode 2, then another for episode 3, so on and so forth. Each individual episode, the file was roughly about 4 gigabytes of space, right? So these files are fucking massive. These are massive video files. And I was like, well, shit. This is probably not good. And I remember when I was using VLC, right? I was using VLC, and I, entered in one of the episodes to convert it over to MP4. I kid you guys not, I think like within maybe half an hour or 1 hour, the conversion had only converted like maybe 1 or 2 minutes of the episode, right? And this episode is like 1 hour long or something like that. So, long story short, the conversion process using VLC was so incredibly fucking long, and not only that, basically, when the video was being converted through VLC, it was utilizing my computer's CPU, right? Because the CPU is one of the main like pieces of hardware that processes this activity, right? And so when it was using my CPU, I was looking at my my taskbar, and it was like your CPU usage is roughly about 90 to 100% right now, which is not good. You don't want your CPU to be running that high for a lengthy amount of time. So I was like, okay, this is not going to work that well, right? So I started doing some research online into alternative methods, right? And I found out about this program that you can utilize, which is actually really fucking cool. Now that I have had experience using that program, I can say 100%, confidently, I absolutely recommend this particular, program, right? There is a program out there which is called FFmpeg, right? FFmpeg, right? So FFmpeg, if you want to pronounce it that way. So basically, the way that this program works is you install it on your computer or on your laptop or whatever, and it basically runs through your device's command prompt, right? So you open up your command prompt on your PC or on your laptop, and you're like, okay, I want to, enter in these instructions or these commands into the command prompt. And you can basically use the command prompt to activate or to, operate the FFmpeg, right? FFmpeg. And basically, okay, so for season 1 of Severance, what I was able to do is I put the MKV files. I basically used FFmpeg. I took the MKV files through the command prompt. I did something which is called basically like re-encoding, right? Where it takes that file and then it kind of, I think the way that I would describe it is, imagine that you are taking the video file, the MKV file, and you are putting it inside a box, and then you are wrapping that box with a very beautiful, very pretty wrapping paper. It looks very, very, festive and very colorful and very wonderful, right? You put this wrapping paper on it, you take this bow and you tie a bow on the package, right? And you make it look nice and pretty. Basically, that is kind of what re-encoding is, where you are taking the MKV file, and then you are adding this layer on top of it, being like, okay, now that I'm adding this other layer on top of the MKV file, right? When you do that, the all of your programs, right? Your PC, your laptop, any other like device out there that is trying to read these files, it will read the file as if it is an MP4 file rather than NKV, right? So it's kind of like it's kind of like not really disguising it, or not really hiding it or anything like that. You are basically putting on a cover on top of the MKV file and making it appear as if it is MP4 so that different applications and programs can read the file, right? And it's like putting this protective layer around the MKV file. So I was able to do that for season 1 of Severance, right? Now, you know, the main thing that I wanted to talk about with FFmpeg is that when you compared that program to VLC, right? VLC, within like, you know, 20 minutes to like half an hour maybe, it moved, like it converted roughly about 1 to 2 minutes of runtime for the MKV file. When I put it through FFmpeg using the command prompt, I think the entire full episode, which was like 1 hour long, it probably took maybe about, at most, 15 to 20 minutes for it to get completely done, right? So maximum 15 to 20 minutes, it managed to essentially like process a 4 gigabyte video, which is pretty quick in my personal opinion. I think that's impressive, right? So that's what I ended up doing for season 1 of Severance. I took all these files, there was 9 of them in total, and I converted them. I re-encoded them from MKV to MK4 or MP4, sorry. So I did that, and I was like, awesome, sweet. I now have season 1 of Severance in video file format on my PC. I can watch it whenever the hell I want to, and I can just enjoy it from the comfort of my own home without having to pay Apple TV for a dog shit subscription, right? So then I was like, okay, eventually I am going to need to get season 2, you know? So I was like, how the heck am I going to do that? So I went to the exact same website that I found season 1 on, and they had season 2 as well. The only, like, I guess, small minor inconvenience was that season 2, unlike season 1, right? Basically, for season 2, you had to individually download every episode one by one. When I discovered, you know, season 1 of Severance on the website, basically there was a file where it was like you can download the full season. You can download all the episodes at one time, just a bulk download. So I did that. But with season 2, I had to download each individual episode, and I had to make sure that like every time I was downloading the episode, I had to make sure that it was the, you know, the correct file format and the correct quality as well. I wanted to make sure that I was getting the 1080p quality, right? So fast forward, right? I've downloaded each episode of season 2 individually, right? And so I go into the command prompt and I'm using FFmpeg to convert the MKV files over to MP4. However, I found out after I did one episode, I converted one episode from season 2. And what I noticed is that when I was looking at the file, you know, in my file explorer on my PC, right? For those of you out there who have experienced this before, this is something that you'll be very familiar with, that you will recognize and you will know what I'm talking about. For others, it may not be something that you're very familiar with. On PC, right? Basically, let's talk about, we're going to talk about video files, right? We're going to talk about like MP4 files. If you have a video file on your PC, what it'll show is it will show basically an icon. It'll show like a thumbnail of the video, right? So you'll be able to see like this rectangle, and it'll show like a scene from the video that you have saved on your device, right? And basically, what this kind of signifies is that there is a program installed on your device that is able to read the video file and play it properly, right? When you double click on that video file, it'll open up and it'll start playing perfectly fine. If you do not have a program on your device that can read the file and can play it as a video, then basically the icon or the thumbnail, where it usually is for that file, it's going to be blank. And at least on Windows, it's going to appear as if like it's a blank white sheet of paper, right? It looks like a white rectangle with nothing. It's just, you know, it basically resembles a broken file. So I noticed that the file that was appearing in my file explorer, basically what would happen is, you know, I would double click on it, right? And it would open up the file as if it were going to play it, but then instead of playing the video, it would only show this like dark black screen. You know, there was no error message, there was no text written there or anything like that. It was just like dark black screen, and it was as if, you know, the program would freeze and would just like stop working and just like stay on a black screen for however long, right? So, you know, I was very confused by what was happening because, you know, when I looked at like the details of the video file, everything looked okay. You know, there didn't seem to be any major problem, right? The encoding seemed to have worked good. The audio was not a problem, right? It was MP4 file format, as it should be. So I did not really think like, oh, there's something majorly wrong, right? And the thing is that, like, you know, if I were to take that file and I were to open it using VLC, VLC was able to play the file perfectly fine. There was no problem with VLC. It was only with like the built-in default Windows like video player that my PC has. The Windows video player was not able to display the video. And I found that to be very annoying. And I was like, okay, I need to fix that, because if it is not playing with the default Windows video player, then that very likely means if I try to play it on a different device, if I try to play it on a TV or on a different laptop, you know, or some other device out there that is not my computer, it may not run. You know, it may not be universally playable, right? So I was like, okay, let me dig a little bit into this and let me figure out what's going on. And so I basically took the like the messages that were appearing in my command prompt, and I searched it up. I actually used ChatGPT to help me out with this. I was like, hey, this is what I'm seeing in command prompt. What does it mean? Like, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Why is this not working? And thankfully, ChatGPT was actually able to help me out. It was able to explain to me what the problem was and how to fix it. And so basically, what I found out is that the video files that I was, you know, converting or re-encoding or whatever, right? They were being properly processed and they were being properly converted. The only difference is that essentially I found out the video files were using something called 10-bit, right? It was called 10-bit encoding or something like that, right? And I think that 10-bit encoding, it specifically refers to the, like, I guess the color scheme, right? So normally you have like a wide range of colors that appear, you know, in a movie or a TV show, right? You have red, blue, yellow, black, orange, gray, brown, right? All these different colors that cross the spectrum, right? I think that the way it works is 10-bit encoding. It means that there are more available colors on the spectrum that, you know, the video can display or can utilize. And so it's supposed to, I guess, give the video hypothetically a better quality in terms of the visual appearance of it, hypothetically. I could be you know, making things up and not really know what exactly the 10-bit thing means, but that's what I understood about 10-bit. And what ChatGPT told me is that the vast majority of, you know, applications, software, devices out there that like can read video files, the vast majority of them actually are specifically built and designed and engineered to read 8-bit encoding. Not 10-bit, but 8-bit, which is a little bit lower. And, you know, I don't think that there's like some kind of major significant revolutionary difference between 8-bit and 10-bit, but it's just that basically 10-bit is supposed to be, I think, slightly higher quality, except for it is less common. It is a lot more unique and rare, with certain, you know, programs, certain applications, certain devices, whatever, being able to read 10-bit, while others are only able to read 8-bit, right? So ChatGPT was like, your video files are encoded with 10-bit encoding. They need to be done with 8-bit encoding instead. So I was like, oh, okay. And thankfully, ChatGPT was like, here is the command that you need to enter into the command prompt to fix this issue, right? And so I did that. I went through every single episode in season 2. There were a total of 10 episodes, and I converted the MKV file over to MP4 with using the 8-bit, like the 8-bit color encoding system, right? And after I did that, it worked. You know, I was able to view the video file in my Explorer. I was able to double click on it, and I was able to play the video perfectly fine. So, yeah. At the end of the day, right, thank the Lord, I'm very grateful. I have access to both Season 1 and Season 2 of Severance. I can watch it at any time, any place, on my PC, or wherever these files are located. Like, I could take these files, put them on, like, a flash drive, and I can, like, you know, move around and go places and watch it in different locations. So that's really fucking cool. And I think that what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably gonna see if I can get my I'm gonna see if I can get my mom to watch the TV show with me, because a lot of the hobbies that I have, a lot of the things that I'm interested in, my mom does not really care about. She's not really someone who has the same interests that I do. But I feel like a TV show such as Severance might be something that she enjoys and finds entertaining, at least a little bit. So I'm thinking that, like, basically I can have a family TV show viewing experience where we get to watch Severance together. So I'm probably going to do that, on one of the days that I'm not streaming, when I'm kind of just offline enjoying my own time. But yeah, that's one piece of good news. I will say, so about Severance, about the entire process that I went through, a little bit of a funny story I want to share with you guys. I'm gonna be honest, the fact that this happened, it doesn't really bother me, and I don't really see it as like, oh no, this is a terrible, horrible thing that occurred, and I feel really bad and blah blah blah, right? I kind of look at it and I just think to myself, wow, this is pure comedy, right? So basically, I was trying to figure out a method of how I could take the video files that I have on my PC and I could make them appear on my TV to where, like, I could watch Severance on my TV that my family has, which is a much bigger screen, right? And so I had this idea pop into my head where I was like, what if I tried live streaming the TV show, right? So basically what I was going to do is I was going to play the TV show on my computer, right? The video would play on my computer, and then I would capture the screen of that video using OBS or using a different software or whatever. I would capture the screen and I would live stream that capture onto my TV, right? So I was like, that is a 5-head play. That is like, in my mind, mentally, I'm playing 5D chess. And I was like, I'm a genius, right? So I went through the steps of setting it up, and I went through the process of getting it to work. And to be fair, it did work. And, if it had been more successful, then, I would have been chilling. I would have been sitting down, eating popcorn, watching Severance on my TV, right? However, what ended up happening, which, again, as I say, this does not bother me. I kind of look at it and I kind of just laugh. I kind of smile and I think, like, okay, fair. Like, it is what it is. Basically, I would say about maybe 10 to 15 minutes after I started doing the live stream. Now, I want to be clear. When I did the live stream, right, I was live streaming to my YouTube channel, and I made the live stream unlisted, which means that the only people who can watch the live stream are myself and then anybody that I give the link of the live stream to. And I only gave the link to my mom, right? I sent the link to my mom, I shared it with her, and she, clicked on the link and was, like, watching the stream with me, right? So, for the most part, this was like a private live stream, right? That no one else could watch. What ended up happening is about 10 to 15 minutes into the stream, I got a message that appeared. So there was a message that appeared on the TV immediately, and then I got a message on my YouTube stream page, right? Showing the details of my live stream, where basically it said that YouTube has detected a copyright violation. Your stream has been shut down immediately, right? And when that happened, honestly, the first thing that I thought was like, wow, that took longer than I expected. I thought it was going to be a lot faster. I thought that they were going to catch me within the first, like, 5 minutes or something like that, and they were going to, ban my live stream or whatever, just, like, on the spot, right? But it took them a good, like, maybe 10 to 15 minutes for them to, catch what was happening and to like, basically remove everything, shut everything down, right? So when I got that message, right, it popped up on the TV, it popped up on my stream details, right? It was like, error, you have been basically been caught with a copyright violation or whatever. Your stream has been shut down, right? When that happened, basically I just went over to my computer, I ended the live stream, right? I shut down the live stream manually on my end, and I deleted the live stream from my channel, right? I just, like, completely removed it entirely. Now, I don't know whether the copyright violation that I got, like, I don't know if it is still on my channel, right? I don't know if it is something that is currently affecting me or not. Maybe not. The thing is that, like, I remember basically, I think the next day after, this moment happened, I went to my YouTube channel, right? And under my, YouTube channel, there's like a YouTube studio type thing where you can edit your uploads, you can edit your live streams and all that stuff, right? Like, this is for the people that are YouTube content creators. In YouTube Studio, I checked to see the copyright tab on YouTube Studio, and I was like, okay, maybe it'll show if I have any YouTube, copyright violations or whatever in this tab. And so I clicked on the tab, and I was like searching through the different, options where the copyright tab was, and there was no message, there was no notification saying that I got a violation on there. So maybe the message is somewhere else. Maybe the, violation, maybe the warning was put in a different location, and I have not seen it. But yeah, it's interesting because, I looked up on Google, right? I was like, is it possible for a copyright strike to disappear, right? And Google was like, I clicked enter and I searched the result, and basically the very first result that popped up, it said that yes, a copyright strike can be removed. However, there's a couple things that you need to know, right? They said, number one, in order to remove a copyright strike, you have to attend what is called YouTube's copyright school, like copyright law school or whatever, right? Where I think it's basically kind of just like a PowerPoint presentation where they're like, hey, this is what copyright is. Don't make the same mistake again, right? They're like, don't fuck up again. And it's kind of like this mandatory, training course where it's like you have to go through it and you have to finish it in order for them to remove the copyright from your channel. So that was one thing that I found out. And then I also found out that apparently when you receive a copyright strike, according to Google, on your first time receiving a copyright strike, you are not allowed to upload any new content to your channel for 1 week, for 7 days, right? Now, this part, whenever I initially read that part, I was like, oh shit, that might not be good. And the reason why is because I was like, okay, is that going to affect my ability to take my Twitch highlights and export them to YouTube, right? And at first I had a little bit of a panic, and the reason why is because before I did the Severance, private YouTube live stream test run, I went into my Twitch exports, right? My Twitch channel highlights, and I clicked on one of my highlights and I was like, I want to export this highlight. And I got an email saying that my export was successful, that it was, moved over to YouTube. And I remember when I, did the Severance test stream and it got shut down, not too long after, I went back to my channel and I went to look at my uploads in my YouTube channel, and there was no indicator that the Twitch highlight that I had exported was being processed. There was no indicator that it was being moved over at all, right? So it kind of sort of looked like what happened was when I got in trouble with the copyright violation, it looked like they canceled the export of the Twitch highlight, which I was like, oh shit, that might not be a good thing, because I need to be exporting these over. I can't be waiting for 7 days to get back to it, right? It's just not a smart idea. So I had a little bit of a panic attack, a little bit of a worry, but then I found out that whatever I initially thought was actually not what was happening, because maybe about 1 hour later or something like that, I went into Twitch and I clicked on the export button again, right, to export the same highlight over to YouTube. And when I went to YouTube and I refreshed the page, right, I opened it up again, it showed that the same Twitch highlight was attempting to be uploaded to YouTube twice. And so I was like, oh, never mind. And so I clicked cancel on one of them, and I was like, let me just let YouTube do its work and let it export, let it, get all of the highlights over, right? So yeah, it seems like, okay, basically, I currently have two different theories, right? Theory number one is that because I deleted the live stream where the copyright violation happened, I think that maybe I did not end up permanently getting a copyright strike, right? Maybe, hypothetically. If that is the case, that's awesome, that's fantastic, and I'm very happy about that. Scenario number two, which, if this is accurate, then it is kind of a little bit strange, and I'm not sure why exactly it works this way, but I'm not going to complain about it, right? Basically, theory number two is that I currently do have one copyright strike on my YouTube channel, and therefore I'm supposedly not allowed to upload anything to my YouTube channel for 1 week. However, I guess that the upload rule does not count when it comes to Twitch exports. I think that Twitch exports, they are counted as something different, something separate, and so I'm allowed to export things from Twitch to YouTube, even though I may potentially have a copyright strike, hypothetically. So yeah, and you know, to be completely honest, let's say that I do have a copyright strike. Let's say that I got in trouble and I got a violation. I got a copyright strike on my channel. Honestly speaking, I don't really care that much about it because, you know, other than the Twitch highlights that I'm exporting, I don't really upload new stuff to YouTube very often. So, you know, having a 1 week kind of temporary ban where I can't upload new things like from my computer or whatever, that's not really going to affect me. It's not really going to be a big deal for me. I don't know. So there's that. And then also the other thing is just that I read on Google that there's a way that you can have the copyright strike removed, so it's not the end of the world, right? If I do have it, it's not like I am forced to keep the copyright strike forever and ever and ever, right? So yeah, there's that. But it's just something where I look at it and it kind of amuses me. I look at it and I think, wow, that's hilarious in my opinion. It doesn't really bother me, doesn't really negatively affect me. It was just kind of me, you know, fucking around and testing the limits, seeing how far I could go with, you know, trying to watch Severance, you know, from the comfort of my own home without, you know, like, having to pay money for it or anything like that. So yeah. But, in any case, yeah, I just wanted to tell that little funny story. I do have, I would say maybe 2, possibly 3, but I'll say two other things that I wanted to talk with you guys about. But I think what I'll do is I will jump on into Lies of P, and I will start playing the game, right? Oh shit, they have new packs? What the fuck? When did they get new packs? I didn't even realize that. Chat, they have new packs in Pokemon TCG. What the frickety frickin' frack? Okay. Let's see here. Do I get a pack that's backwards? I don't think I do. Yeah, there's no backwards packs here. Pain. Shining Revelry. I don't even know. I think these must be the Pokemon from, like, the newish generation of, the Pokemon games. What the fuck is this one? Grafaiai. How the hell do you even pronounce that Pokemon? Jesus Christ, that's such a weird-ass name. Alright, chat, hold on. I'm currently busy opening some Pokemon packs. Wow, no backwards packs today? Okay. I guess that it is what it is. Ooh, yo, chat. I got a shiny border Riolu. Look at that rainbow color border. I really like that. That's really pretty. I will say, you know, for those of you who don't know about this, Lucario, the Pokemon, which is basically an evolution of Riolu. Lucario is one of my favorite Pokemon to exist in the Pokemon universe. So I'll take this. I'll take this. Alright, so I guess what I'll do is maybe, like, tonight or tomorrow or something like that, I will, I will basically see if I can open a 10-pack of cards. But right now, I don't have the... I do not have the currency to open a 10-pack. Alright, I've exited Pokemon. We're good to go. So what I'll do, chat, as I kind of very briefly mentioned, is, I will load into Lies of P, and we can continue on with our gameplay today. And then while, you know, we are gaming in Lies of P, yeah, while we're doing that, I can tell you guys the stories. What are all these artworks? My god, chat. I think I probably have like 50 tabs on my Chrome right now, and like 40 of those tabs are fucking Twitter links, right? They're just artwork. All right, give me a second, chat. I just now got a text message from a friend. I want to see this. Oh, I know what this is. Yep. I know exactly what this is. Looks like she found it. This stupid browser on my phone, it takes a long time to load links, and the reason why is because sometimes I have a lot of browser tabs open, and it takes a while to process any new links. There we go. Okay. All right. So, chat, my lovely chat. Let's get into Lies of P, shall we? Enough sitting on the main title menu here. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but above my head, I have the controller visual. I don't know if it's going to stay working, because this controller visual that I have above my head, I was using it before, but a little while ago it broke and it stopped working. So I don't really know what exactly, caused the problem last time, why it stopped working. But I hope that this time it does not continue to, cause problems and malfunction, right? Okay, so here we were back at Hotel Krat, and I think we were going to the brand new area, if I'm not mistaken. Workshop Union entrance. Oh, yeah, this is the one NPC that sells the weapons that are made from the boss souls. I remember this guy. Yeah, I remember this guy. I actually have quite a few things I can talk about, chat. There we go. Who tricked you? You talking about me?
You? I didn't think we'd ever meet again. Can't say I'm happy to see you, though. Sorry, I let my frustration get the better of me. This place is crawling with hostile puppets. You must have known that, but you still sent me here. Honor and trust are everything to this hound. You've insulted me to the core. I'll never forgive you. But perhaps there's a shred of decency in you? So I'll ask again. Do you know of a safe place? Nice try, but I've been there already and I know better. The puppets have already destroyed that place. Again, you spurn my trust. But even a brave soul like me cannot afford another enemy in times like these. I shall show you mercy. Perhaps it will inspire a nobler spirit in you. But beware, do not fool me ever again.
Okay.
You tricked me with your lie. But I'm no stranger to beneficence. Remember, the hound's fat.
Okay,
It seems the hotel is the only other option.
Oh, he knows about the hotel.
You tricked me. But I'm... Remember.
I don't know if that's a good thing, chat. Yep, it looks like he's back at the hotel. Let's go talk to him. I wonder what he's gonna say to us. I don't see him out here. Surely he's not up on the second floor, right? There he is.
Oh, it's you. This hotel is indeed a refuge from the dangers of the outside world. I am the Hound, a descendant of the city's most aristocratic families. Repaying debts is what we nobles do. Betrayal creates a debt that is particularly hard to pay back. But I am a man with generosity and mercy in abundance. I shall give you the honor of viewing my treasure so that you may apologize. However, you must prove your worthiness. For this legendary treasure, the ergo of a powerful enemy shall suffice. It's up to you if you want to make the exchange. Take your time to admire it. I've certainly done likewise.
Okay. Alright, well, thank you, Mr. Hound. Maybe another time. Yeah, so, chat, let me start with talking about the very first topic that is something new, something recent that happened, which I do want to share my thoughts about, right? I need to be careful, basically, how I talk about this topic, because, the last thing that I want to do is, I do not want to sound like, I don't want to sound like an asshole. I don't want to sound like, you know, someone who is basically just a person, a person that you don't want to be associated with, right? A nasty, villainous, malicious person, right? So I need to be careful about how I talk about this, but I do want to share some thoughts. So basically, there is a particular streamer that I really, really appreciate, right? Really, really amazing, awesome person by the name of Banjo the Uncle. And Banjo recently became a Twitch partner, which is fucking incredible. It's absolutely awesome, and I'm extremely happy for Banjo. Like, I think that, you know, since he is one of the very few streamers that I discovered, you know, because I was raided into his channel. Like, I was watching someone else and they raided Banjo, and then I stuck around and I continued to watch Banjo for, you know, several months. I think that Banjo, without a doubt, without any hesitation, he deserves Twitch partner, and I'm very, very happy for him, right? It's a major thing to congratulate him for, right? With that being said, right, I think that I think that, you know, I have several thoughts that kind of go through my head, right? Trying to see if there's anyone who's walking towards me. Trying to see if there's any enemies that are coming my way. I don't think that there are, but I could be wrong. So, you know, first of all, massive, massive, huge congratulations to Banjo. I'm very, very, very happy for him. That is a heavy hit. There we go. So, you know, I'm very, very happy for Banjo. I think that it is an incredible achievement. An incredible achievement that is well-deserved. You know, for those of you who are not aware about Banjo, right? Banjo has been streaming on Twitch for roughly about 7 years. I think it's almost been maybe 8 years at this point, right? He's been live streaming. And, you know, he started out as a very small streamer, like everyone does. And he started off by doing, like, variety content. And eventually, he found, you know, his purpose, which was Souls games, right? Can you back off? God damn, those dogs are annoying. So Banjo found his purpose, and his purpose was obviously playing Souls games, right? After Banjo started, like, streaming Souls games kind of exclusively, right? I think that Banjo slowly but surely, he kind of, like, found success, right? And he became better at streaming and gained an audience, and his channel grew, right? So Banjo has achieved quite a lot, and you know, it's really, really cool seeing him talk about his entire journey, right? You know, I remember I was watching Banjo, and Banjo, he did a live stream where he was kind of talking about he was talking about the entire long journey of how things went, and he was talking about, you know, basically what it took for him to get to where he was to this day, right? And it was a very wonderful, amazing live stream where I got to listen to, you know, him reminisce and you know, reflect on his journey, his progress, you know? Tomb Slums entrance. I'm gonna guess that there's not a Stargazer over here. And there's probably multiple enemies hiding around. Yeah, so, you know, Banjo did this live stream. I was kind of just lurking and watching, kind of just, you know, listening to what he had to say, right? And, you know, so I listened, and, I think one of the things that I thought about, and this is a moment where, you know, I'm gonna choose to be, you know, vulnerable. Ow, that was way too quick. I did not realize he was gonna swing that fast. I'm gonna be choosing here to, you know, be vulnerable, and you know, I'm going to kind of like just talk about some thoughts that I had. Gonna talk about some thoughts that I had, you know, okay. There we go. My god, that guy was fucking tanky, chat. He had like a shit ton of HP on him. So, you know, I'm gonna talk about some thoughts that I had, which, honestly, these thoughts, they kind of make me look like a shitty human being, make me look bad, and I realize that. And I'm not making any sort of, excuses about any of that, right? You know, so there is 100% a part of me where I was like, you know, I knew that Banjo was eventually going to get partner. I knew that. I could tell. One of the biggest reasons why is that, you know, not long after I discovered Banjo and I started watching his streams, I basically found out that, you know, Banjo has, he has, like, connections with a lot of the Souls community, right? And he actually knows quite a few other Souls streamers and Souls like content creators who, you know, are big in the community overall, right? And you know, some of these streamers or some of these people that Banjo knows, that he's acquainted with, that he's friends with, they are people on Twitch who they get like 1,000 viewers, 2,000 viewers, 3,000 viewers consistently, right? And you know, they occasionally will be very kind enough to raid Banjo and to send their viewers over to Banjo. For those of you who don't know about this or don't remember about this, basically, I think sometime last year, maybe like in the middle of the year or at the beginning of the year, Twitch made a change, a very big, major, drastic change that was actually a good thing. It was something very positive and that I was very, you know, happy about that they did. And essentially, you know, this change that they made is that starting from that point onwards, right? Any like raiders, any viewers that they are sent over to your channel from a raid from another streamer, those raiders, those viewers, they count towards your channel analytics, right? So that means that you know, if you get a raid and somebody, they send over 100 people to your channel, that means that your channel analytics, right, when it measures how many active viewers you had on your stream today, right, the average amount of viewers that were watching your stream, it will count those 100 people towards your channel analytics. And yeah, for those of you out there who are not really familiar with the process of becoming a Twitch partner, basically the number one most difficult thing about becoming a Twitch partner is that you need to have an average of 75, you know, active viewers on average throughout a span of 30 days, right? So 1 month, 30 days, you need to have 75 average viewers per, you know, stream that you do during that 30-day period, which is, it is a substantial goal to reach. It is not easy, especially if you are a small streamer like me or like many other people out there that get like 1 viewer or 2 viewers per stream. Getting 75 average viewers during the span of 30 days is a very, very big goal. It is a very high milestone, right? And so, you know, that is the most difficult part of being a Twitch partner, of becoming a Twitch partner, right? Is making sure that you are above that threshold, that number. Now, ever since I met Banjo and I found out that he has connections with a lot of these like big Souls creators, these big streamers, I knew that, you know, it was only going to be just like it was just a matter of time before Banjo became a Twitch partner, because he was going to continue to be supported and to be rated by these massive streamers, and you know, he would eventually get over that threshold easily, right? I remember that like when I started watching Banjo, he had roughly about 30 viewers on average per stream, and then eventually he jumped up to about 50 or 60 average viewers per stream, right? Not too long after, and then as you know, time went on and as he got more raids from people, big streamers, he was like consistently getting, you know, 70, sometimes 80 viewers average minimum. Sometimes I would like, you know, pop into a stream of his and he would have like over 100 people watching him, right? Which is really, really fucking impressive, and I'm very happy for Banjo. I'm very proud of him, right? And so I knew that before long he would get Twitch partner. I was 100% sure of it, right? Um, Even though that is the case, even though that I knew that it was inevitable, that it was going to happen, you know, I also had some other thoughts as well in my head where, yeah, basically, as I mentioned, I think that this part of what I'm about to say, it's probably going to make me look really shitty. It's probably going to make me look really terrible, right? There was a small part of me, right? Like basically 0.1% of my brain was thinking this thought of, man, I kind of sort of wish that Banjo was not going to be able to get partner for a little while longer. And the reason why is purely a selfish reason. It is purely just, you know, me thinking about myself and thinking about my own interests and my own desires and whatever. I essentially had this thought pop into my head because I was like, you know, I felt basically disappointed in myself. And I think the reason that I felt disappointed is that, you know, when I met Banjo, he was just like me, he was a Twitch affiliate. Now, obviously, he had way more viewers than I had, and that I probably ever will. But he was a Twitch affiliate, and I had that sort of connection with him where I was like, yeah, both me and him, we stream on Twitch, and he was a Twitch affiliate, and I could relate to that because I'm also one, right? And I just felt like, you know, basically me and Banjo, we were kind of on the same level where I could treat him as just another regular, kind, wholesome, wonderful individual, right? And I could see him as someone who, you know, is, you know, not special and not unique and not, you know, like some kind of Hollywood celebrity, right? Um, and I think I just had this thought where I was like, man, if Banjo gets partner, or I should say when Banjo gets partner, I think even though I don't want to admit it, even though I don't want to, you know, mention it and talk about it, right? I think that there is a dark side of me where I'm just like, I feel as if now that Banjo the Uncle and people, you know, streamers like him have achieved an amazing accomplishment that I also kind of want to achieve, which is Twitch partner, I feel like now we are kind of in different worlds, right? Banjo is a Twitch partner. He has a ton of connections with other big streamers, other very, very notable and famous Souls streamers. And I kind of just, you know, I feel like when I compare myself to them, I'm a nobody. I basically just, you know, am one of 8 billion human beings that exist on the planet, and that's it, right? That's all I am. I'm just a number. I'm just a metric, right? And yeah, it kind of made me stop and be like, man, I feel depressed now. I feel sad. I feel disappointed in myself, and I feel frustrated that, you know, I am not able to keep up with people like Banjo and other amazing individuals on Twitch, right? So yeah, that's something that I thought about. By the way, Pixels, I did see your resubscription with the Prime Gaming. I appreciate you, homie. I hope that your trip to Japan was incredibly amazing, and I hope that you had a ton of fun. And I hope that you're doing well, you and your family as well, you and all your loved ones. So yeah, much love, homie. You are one of my favorite people on this planet. Yeah, so I had that thought, and I willingly admit it. Like I readily will talk about it, even though it makes me look like a fucking asshole, even though I look like a piece of shit human being when I say it out loud. I think like, the interesting thing is when I really thought about it, at the end of the day, what I truly desired, the reason why I was so frustrated with myself is that it's not that I wish Banjo did not become a partner. It's kind of just that I wish I could be there standing beside him and the other people that are Twitch partners, right? Like, I want to be on that same stage, right? I want to be a part of it. I don't want to be left out, you know? So it's like, not, I don't want Banjo to not be a Twitch partner. I'm not saying that he should not have become Twitch partner. I'm saying that I really wish that I was there with him and I was, able to stand on that same pedestal, right? That same status level, right? But I'm not. I'm not able to, and it really sucks. And it kind of has made me stop and think about it, right? Where it's like, okay, Banjo Banjo made this incredible, amazing progress, right? It took him a long time. It took Banjo 7 years to become a Twitch partner, right? Which is crazy long. But he was able to do it. He put his head down, he put the work in, and he eventually achieved his goal, right? And I think that even Banjo will admit this himself. He was not able to do that without the help of amazing, incredible streamers out there that support him, right? And so, when Banjo achieved Twitch partner and he did like a stream where he like kind of celebrated his journey to becoming a Twitch partner, it got me really thinking. And it got me thinking about like, okay, what do I want out of my own, streaming journey? What do I want out of my own channel on Twitch, right? And it also got me thinking, if I were to look at myself 7 years from now, what do I want to have achieved, right? And so it got me thinking about all this deep stuff, and it's kind of tough because I feel like, there are several things that I want for myself in terms of dreams or goals or whatever in my life. But I'm also someone who is very realistic and very logical whenever I think about things. And so I know that not everything that I want is achievable. I know that not everything that I desire is something that I can obtain and that I can, I can't have everything that I want in this world because life just doesn't work that way, right? And so, yeah, I'm kind of going through this dilemma right now of basically just trying to figure out what exactly do I do moving forward, right? Now, I think that right now, currently, I basically have, I would say that I have two different things that I would say I am 99% sure about these things, right? There's one thing where I'm like, I know for a fact I'm going to do this, like this is something that I'm planning for specifically to do in the future. And then there's another thing where it's like, maybe, right? We'll see. So number one, I think that in the future, right? And I've already started doing this. If you guys have been watching my live streams over like the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, you guys might have noticed this. I want to basically change the focus of my live streams where I am no longer only specifically a, mainly gacha streamer, right? I think that I no longer want to be known on Twitch or on any platform as a Genshin Impact streamer or a Wuthering Wave streamer or a gacha streamer or whatever, right? Like that's not something that I care about and that I desire, right? So what I think I'm going to do is, I've started doing it and I think I'm going to stick by it. I'm going to see where this takes me, right? I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know what will happen, by doing this, whether it'll be successful or whether nothing at all will occur. But I think that from now on until the time comes for when the chapter closes on this particular book, right? I think that I want to focus more on variety games, and at least for now, specifically Souls games, right? Like Lies of P, like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Sekiro, all these types of titles, right? I want to focus on these types of games, as well as maybe occasionally some other variety content. So that's one thing that I'm looking into, and as I mentioned, I will kind of like ride this wave until it lasts, right? Maybe there's a day that comes where I'm like, man, I don't have any more like Souls content to do, which I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. Like I'm crossing my fingers, hoping and praying that it never does happen. I'm hoping that I will forever be able to play really cool games like Souls games, but I can't predict the future, you know. So I'm gonna see how long this goes on for, and I'm gonna try to be consistent and stick through it, right? One thing that I know for a fact I am gonna do, like this is guaranteed to happen. I'm working on it. I'm going to finish it at some point pretty soon here, and I'm going to just get it over with, right? Um, I've realized that so my on my Twitch channel, on my about page is a little bit outdated. I want to update that, like the text on it, and then also I have like a channel trailer, on my about page. I think I need to record a brand new one, and I need to upload a brand new one because the one that I currently have, it is basically talking about the old me, you know, where I was a Genshin Impact streamer, I was a gacha streamer primarily. I want to re-record it and basically be like, hey guys, I am kind of more of a variety streamer nowadays or whatever, right? Yeah. So that is one thing that, like, undoubtedly, no hesitation about it. I am going to be changing that. I'm going to be updating my channel about page. But yeah, the rest of the stuff that I'm thinking about, it's kind of like it's kind of like not situational. It's very, I guess it's very dependent on how things turn out, right? It's not set in stone. It's not guaranteed to happen. It is like, if it happens, it happens, right? Now, here's the main thing that I am. Yeah, here's the main thing that I'm honestly like really conflicted about, right? I'm really stopping and thinking about this because I don't want to make a mistake. You know, I don't want to fuck up and I don't want to ruin my life, right? So basically, just like Banjo the Uncle, he recently became a Twitch partner, and it was something that was like a huge moment for him. It was a momentous occasion, something that he will forever, ever hold near and dear to his heart, right? It was such a massive accomplishment, a massive moment for him. There is, without a doubt, absolutely a part of me that wants to be Twitch partner as well. Like, that is one of the reasons why I stream on Twitch. It's not the main reason. It is not like, you know, my number one top priority where I'm like, I need to be a Twitch partner, right? Or otherwise I will never stream again, right? That's not at all my mindset. It's more so just that, like, you know, being a Twitch partner would be just like an insane accomplishment that I would be able to have if it is possible to do at all. Like, if my life, if it gives me the opportunity to be a Twitch partner, then I will take that opportunity very happily. But if it doesn't happen, then, you know, it's not the end of the world for me. I'm not going to, you know, go and start living under a bridge and asking people riddles like a troll or anything like that, right? You know, I'm not going to throw away my life just because I'm not a Twitch partner, right? But I would love to achieve Twitch partner. And so, you know, basically, when Banjo became a Twitch partner, it really made me stop and think to myself, like, okay, do I want to kind of try doing what Banjo did, where, you know, maybe for 7 years, maybe for 20 years, I grind Twitch, and I try to figure out what's a winning formula, what works, and what allows me to get Twitch partner. And do I chase after that, you know, desire? Or do I try going for a different goal entirely? Do I try going for something completely, you know, different than content creation, right? And, you know, it's really tough because I think that, you know, in a perfect utopia, I would like to, you know, my dream in an alternate reality, in a perfect world where everything goes my way, I think that I would be, you know, like a Twitch partner, or at the very least, I would say that I would be a successful full-time content creator, right? And also, another, like, dream, another goal of mine is that I would be able to, you know, maybe, let's say, for example, work for a US company that has connections in Japan, and then I would be able to, you know, work for that company, do something that utilizes Japanese language, Japanese culture, and whatever. I'd be able to do that as my job, earn money from that, right? And then I could travel back and forth between US and Japan as many times as I want, and you know, kind of constantly visit the country, right? That could be scenario number one. Or, you know, another example scenario is that maybe I go and work for a Japanese company, right? And same thing, right? Maybe I get to either work in Japan permanently, or I get to travel back and forth between the US and Japan, right? So in like a perfect utopia, in an alternate timeline where all of my wishes, all of my dreams, all of my goals come true, that is basically what I'm looking at. I'm looking at being a full-time content creator who also, you know, is able to like kind of travel the world, go to Japan, go to any country that I want to, whenever I want to, for fun, for content creation, whatever, right? That is something that I would love to achieve. However, you know, with my very like logical and very what's the word? Like with my very realistic brain, the way that my brain functions and the way that I think about things, I think that basically I have one of two choices, right? Choice number one is I either try to pursue content creation full time. I try to, you know, basically take all of my poker chips, set it on the table, and say all in, right? Or I go for a different route where, you know, obviously right now I'm kind of going through school and I'm trying to earn a degree, right? And then once I earn my degree, I will hopefully be able to use that to get a very, you know, stable, secure, full paying job that pays well and that I don't want to, you know, jump off of a cliff in Minecraft having to do that work. And then I would get to do the things that I want to do outside of content creation, which is like traveling the world, visiting different, you know, countries, different locations, different sightseeing, tourist destinations, right? And kind of just enjoying my life with the whatever job it is that I have, right? I could do that. So when I look at things through that lens of being very hyper logical, being very hyper realistic about what my future could look like, I think that it's either option one or option two. It's either I go full on into content creation or I go for the second option. Um, yeah, and I don't really know what to choose. I don't know what the right answer is, right? If there even is one. I don't think that there is one. But I don't really know what to choose because the thing is that, like, you know, I think the reason why I'm hesitating is content creation. It is, I think you can ask anyone. You can even ask people who are like the top content creators who they make bank. They make like, you know, millions, maybe even billions of dollars from content creation, right? You can talk to them, and I'm pretty sure they will tell you the exact same thing, which is that content creation is a very risky thing. You know, you are not guaranteed to be a content creator forever. You know, you might wake up one day and find out that your career as a content creator is suddenly over without you wanting it to be over, right? Your career is not really 100% in your hands, in your control, right? There are some things about content creation that is completely out of your control, and those things can fuck up your career. And all of a sudden, you wake up one day and you're out of a job and you don't have any money, right? It is very, very, very risky, very dangerous to try and chase after content creation full time. And I know that. I'm very, very fully aware of that. However, if you are able to make it work, you know, if you are able to make it into a successful thing, the feeling that you get from achieving that is very satisfying. It makes you feel like, oh my God, I did something incredible and I earned it. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm so glad that I put in the work and the time to get here, right? So it's like, you know, do I take the gamble? Do I take the risk, right? Because it's like, you know, on the one hand, going for option two, where I go and seek out like a stable full-time, you know, career, a job that maybe I work in like an office in a corporate environment or whatever for 40 hours a week or more per week, and I get paid, you know, hopefully I get paid pretty well for that job. While that other alternative option is much safer than trying to chase after content creation, there are still risks with going for option two. There are still some things that are not entirely in your control with option two that you really do need to be cautious about. And you need to be very careful about it. You need to watch out for it. And you need to try to plan accordingly if that is the path that you're trying to go for, right? So yeah, it's really tough. Yeah, I don't know. I think like basically, so this is my current thought process at the moment. I think that I am going to put into action the plan that I have been doing or that I started doing like a couple weeks ago, where I'm going to be shifting my stream content more towards Souls games and variety games, right? I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to test it out. I'm going to see how it goes, right? If I create my channel content more around these types of games, do I see any sort of change? Do I see any sort of improvement? If I see maybe more viewers coming into my channel saying hello, talking to me, and you know, discussing Souls games or discussing variety games with me, compared to what I was doing before, where I was like getting 0 viewers, right? Then I'll be like, okay, maybe I give content creation a try. Maybe I see where this path leads. But if I do like a trial run, if I do a test run and I see like, okay, am I seeing any growth? Am I seeing any improvement in my channel, right? And the answer is no. If there's like no growth whatsoever with my content, with my channel over time on Twitch, then I think that that'll be a very definitive sign where it's like, hey man, it's over. Just like, you know, don't bank on Twitch, don't bank on content creation to be your savior. Don't bank on it to be your future, your career, your everything in life, right? You can stick to it like it's, you know, some kind of a side hobby, like it's a little bit of a fun activity for you to do in your free time, in your spare time, but don't try to turn it into more than it is right now, right? That'll be like, I think that'll be the moment where I'm like, yeah, okay, that probably is the most wise decision that I could make out of all of it. But yeah. That's one thing that I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to think. I think there was like something else regarding Twitch partner that I was going to mention, but right now my mind is blanking, so I can move on and I can talk about some other topics. Anyways, chat, before we move on to the next topic, let me read this piece of paper here. Wanted, Black Rabbit Brotherhood. A criminal group of 4 stalkers charged with theft, assault, tampering with bodies, and other serious crimes. Their base is in the Malum district, so be extremely careful when entering it. Okay. Alright. Get wrecked. Ow. I saw a blue item down there, chat. I want to grab that blue item, even though I know that it is a trap. Yep. Ooh, wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, that thing is very powerful. Very, very powerful. Alright. I learned my lesson. I tried burning it alive, but it didn't necessarily work. Caw. Get wrecked. Ow. Ow. Okay, nice little elevator. How convenient. Damn, I got -3 -3 flasks for that. Scribbles of Slum Resident. Everything changed after the doctor spread the blue medicine. I buried my brother. I don't even know it was my brother. Who is the doctor? Whose blue hair is it in his cane? Ooh, that sounds suspicious. Interesting, interesting. So we've come back full circle, chat. We've come back to the Stargazer that we were at before. Oh, wait a second. Is there a second floor here? I think that there is. Ah, I see, I see. Ooh, nice. Upgrade material, baby. Let's fucking go. Why, hello there, buddy. Nice kill. Hell yeah, baby. Alright, let's see. I see that guy up there. Ooh, okay. Hmm. Interesting, interesting. So I climb this ladder, and then I go over here. Ah, there's a drop down. Okay, let me unlock this door. Okay, what does this say? There is even treasure to be found in a collapsing shack. Find out what happens to the greedy couple. Interesting, interesting. He de-aggro's pretty fast. Yeah, he de-aggro's pretty quickly. I don't think he's able to like, throw any projectiles or anything, right? I feel like he's kind of stuck where he is, but I don't know. Ow. Oh, he went through. Oh, shoot. Yikes. Well, chat, this is not looking good. Is that a dog up there? Hmm. Oh, shoot. Hobbler's Bridge. Ooh. Okay, okay. I feel like I need to kill that thing, chat. The weird, monster that's, like, guarding the doorway or whatever. I feel like I need to kill it. Nice. Slum Shack Key. Slum Shack Key. Interesting. I wonder if this is something that you have to use in that previous town? Maybe there's a shack that I missed and it unlocks with it. I blocked that. Friggity friggin' frack.
I test 1 2 1 2. We have a schedule update with the intruder. It's time. Tonight!
Ooh. Oof. My god. That thing is hard to time. Okay. I'll take that. That's a win. I will gladly take that. It appears that using the Legion arm was a really smart idea there. Alright.
Now, here's a safety reminder for all the malcontents of the Marlin district. A nasty puppet has invaded our territory. Be careful.
Gotta make sure I'm in a safe place so I can read that properly. I actually don't know what it is that I picked up, chat. That item that I just now got, I completely forgot what the hell it was. I mean, it had to be one of the records, right? One of these, like, pieces of paper. But the thing is that, like, I'm pretty sure I've already read all of these. Oh, I think it's this one right here. Let me see this one. Target info, target name unknown, affiliation sweepers, codename cat. Joined the group as an apprentice stalker, but is inactive in the group. Has been reported multiple times for ignoring ranks and neglecting duty. Caught being in contact for the past year with The Fox, a bastard stalker. Under investigation for leaking inside secrets, but has not responded yet. Extra info Fox, target name unknown, affiliation The Bastards, codename Fox. As it is with the Bastards, she is assumed to have been ousted from noble succession. The interesting thing is, she claims that a cat is a bastard of the family, so in other words, her lost sibling. If the information above is reliable, the cat is possibly a spy from the Bastards. It's an unofficial interrogation, so there are no restrictions to the methods available. Ooh, yikes. Monka W? What the hell is this creepy place? Why do I feel like this is gonna fall? I feel like that's so dangerous. No way to go up from here? Yeah. I could have guessed. Oof, that's so risky. Ooh, wee mama. That is so risky. I think I need to, like, start running and then, you know, jumping instead of, yeah, instead of falling, you know? That's fine. I'll take the fall damage. Oof, this looks rough, chat. This looks very painful. I don't know if I like this. Oh, Stargazer? Let's go, baby. Should we go back to Hotel Krot, maybe? Might not be a bad idea. I honestly don't know how much ergo I have. Maybe enough for, like, one level, and that's probably it. Oh, Sophia.
I'll use my power.
Let's see. 5,300. I think that's only enough for one level. Let's upgrade our... Vitality is important. There we go. Alright, time to go to the Malum district. We get to go and visit the Black Rabbit Brotherhood.
Oh, I saw you go into the factory. But you're here. So, wait. You came out of the factory? That's a new one.
I thought you would have been burnt to a crisp. But look at you, all intact.
Brother, being too frank is rude. We should praise him for being stronger than he looks. Why not join forces? Play our cards right, and we could defeat the villains who rule this area.
They're the Black Rabbit's Brotherhood, the baddies who torment the residents around here.
We heard their hideout is stuffed with treasure, and it's a good time to liberate this place as well. Pretty sweet deal, don't you think?
All you have to do is create a distraction. That's it. The rest we can handle.
So, you gonna do it?
Chat, this is sounding like a trap. This is sounding like it's no bueno.
So, you gonna do it? Smart choice. Look at our smart friend, Gato.
We're no slouches in the fisticuffs department in a pinch. You lead. We'll bring up the rear and watch for hidden threats.
Why do I feel like these guys are gonna betray me? I feel like that's gonna happen.
What do you think? Not bad, eh? Our new dumbass.
I can hear you two. You guys aren't being sneaky at all. What's up, dude? Don't get stuck on there. Ow. Okay, I'll take that. Shall we go up, ladies?
Whoa, hold up. It's been a while since I worked like that. I got aches, you know? And I wouldn't want to cramp your style. I'll take a breather here, then catch up later.
I'm assuming this is the sign of the Black Rabbit Brotherhood.
Here's a news bulletin. This just in. The intruder turned out to be Geppetto's puppet. This month's protection fee will be waived for anyone who hunts it down. What a deal! Now hurry up and run, you idiots!
That guy's voice is really, really annoying. All these locked doors, chat. Arch Break Cartridge. I do not know what the fuck that is, chat. No clue. Not a single bit. Have a taste of La Bleuez, the greatest wine in the world. The La Bleuez winery has a long history. Vintage wine, starting alongside the revival of Krat. Its rosy color, known as the Ruby of Heaven. Its delicately matured scent and taste. Its wonderful aftertaste. Even the legendary stalker enjoys La Bleuez. Taste the best wine chosen by the one who stood at the pinnacle. Seems a little bit sketch. Okay, very, very nice. Okay, okay. I now see where we are, chat. It appears that the two bozo stalkers have left me in this place as is. So we have to deal with this thing alone, it seems like. Oh, there's one on the roof as well. Interesting. There's actually quite a lot of them over there. Yeah, I see one guy, one thing over there, one thing over there. Those ones are the ones that throw the long-range decay. I remember those creatures. Okay, nice. Ooh. Yikes. Okay. At the very least, I died inside the building. That way I can, what's it called? I can get my ergo pretty easy. I didn't open that door yet. Okay. Okay, go downstairs. Nope. Get out of there. Ow. Hey. Ow. Wow, she gives some items like every single time that you fight her. Okay. That's pretty cool. So, I was not supposed to go through this door. I was supposed to go... not down there. I think I was supposed to go upstairs. Wait. Maybe not. Hold on. Was I supposed to go through here, maybe? No. Oh my god, I'm lost, chat. That was bad. So I go through here. Ah, okay, okay, here it is. Okay. I don't think there's a way for me to jump out there, unfortunately. If there was, that would be really cool, but, yeah, I think, that area is blocked off. I don't think I see a ladder or anything, either. Nah, he's leaving again, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, he's leaving. Is that it? He just... Okay. Hmm. Ooh, I'm dead. Ooh, yikes. If that made me... If that made me for a second, okay. Yeah, I was about to say, if that made me, like, fall off the ladder, I was gonna be so annoyed. Come on over here. Yikes. I didn't know that he had such like a long combo. That is very impressive. Very, very impressive. Okay, okay. Do 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 do. Oh, I'm not hitting him? There we go. I hit him once with the fire. Ow. Ow. There we go. Patience amulet. Patience amulet. Okay. I wonder what that does. Okay. Dead end. Ow. Okay, another dead end. Maybe. Really? That guy was insanely, what's the word? Determined to swing at me.
Another fine day in the city of Krat, but I wonder, my friend, just where you've been? Ah.
That was terrible.
I hope my return isn't too unexpected. It seems that our fates may be interconnected. Now, do pay attention. You won't want to miss when the king of all riddles says, "Riddle me this." I stand tall and proud when I'm young and bold, but I'm short and humble once I've gotten old. What am I? That's right. Did you cheat? Are you cheating? Better not be cheating. You're irritatingly good at this. Or am I? Oh, impossible. I am the king of riddles, and you are just, well, you. No offense. You're either very lucky, improbably bright, or more likely, you're cheating. But I would never level such an accusation in a culture where dueling is still an acceptable method of solving disputes. I'm the king of riddles, not the king of swordplay.
Fair point.
You know, I wonder, perhaps it's your connection to Candle. Because the answer is, right? You get it, but you're not feeling violent. Huh, even better. It's as good a time as any to grant you this boon. Now, take your new key and say, "Give me some room." I can tell you're enjoying these times that we spar. I take leave of you now, but don't go too far.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, that's a jump, chat. That is one heck of a jump. And I didn't press the jump button. Ow. I should probably kill those creatures, the monsters up above, but, I feel like, you know, it may not necessarily be worth it. Okay. Ow, you piece of garbage. How rude. How rude of them. That's so dirty. Bye-bye. Okay. What is the treasure chest here? Ooh, a quartz. Let's fucking go, baby. Worth it. 100% worth. Alright. I need to check every single nook and cranny and make sure I did not miss a single treasure, chat. Because I'm not going home without all the goods, baby. Nice trap. Almost had me. Another treasure. Give me a quartz, baby. Hit me with a quartz. Aw, dang it. Bone-cutting saw blade. Intriguing. Very fascinating. Okay. I only see one more blue item, chat. And that blue item is basically this direction. Onwards we go to the second ladder. Nice. All right. I will take that. That's a win right there. Oh, man. Ah, shucks. Oopsie daisy, chat. Okay, so I go this way. Go up this ladder. And then here, I can drop down this way. Let's go ahead and open up the gate. Beautiful. Hidden moonstone, easy money. Alright, is this an old area that I've been through, or is it a new area? I feel like the answer is that it is a new area. So I gotta be cautious. I do only have 1 HP left. Okay. Alright. So far, so good, chat. Okay. I hear dogs. I know that they're coming. I just don't know where.
It's funny seeing them all flustered. Hey, the idiot's not doing it.
So, the character hit me, but didn't like, deal damage to me. That's very interesting. There's a ladder here. Well, I'm definitely not going to be able to make that jump. Hmm. That thing looks dangerous. Okay, one guy dead. So it had the maximum aggro range, but I think it can move beyond that. Okay, alright, that thing's dead. However, I have no more flasks, so this might be a situation where I dip out. Okay. Interesting old-timey music. Always make sure your weapon is ready to go. Monad Charity House Guide. Welcome to Monad Charity House. The Monad Charity House is also known by its nickname, the Rose Estate. Originally, we were a charity organization for poor children, but today, with the Monad family's sponsorship, we've become a boarding school with high-quality welfare and education curriculum. Children can get stalker, workshop technician, and alchemist education according to their aptitude and career path. To this day, about 200 graduates are from Monad Charity House and are actively working in different fields in Krat. For more details and sponsorship, please contact the Charity House manager. You look like a donkey in this picture. Stop doodling on my picture, Romeo. Lamau. This Romeo seems like he is a ball of laughs. Why, hello there, you two.
Looking good. Who'd have thought we'd make it this far? You've got all kinds of skills. Hey, everything went smooth as silk. And you know me, I don't impress easy.
Sure, but I gotta ask, you really gonna take on the Black Rabbit Brotherhood by yourself?
I mean, I can always summon helpers, which I probably will. But, it's probably a good idea to save, our current progress. I think that's a smart idea. Don't want to be getting ahead of ourselves, you know? Oh, there's a chest up there. What the heck? How did I miss that chest? Is it even possible to get up there? I should probably level up, shouldn't I, chat? Yeah, there's the boss fight right there. Okay, okay. Whoa, what is that hitbox, chat? That is a weird hitbox. Basically, I rolled the attack, but then even though I rolled the attack, the enemy was able to kind of like extend its, you know, its attack and like reach out even further and hit. Yeah, that is fucking insane reach. There we go. Okay. So let's rest here. We're gonna go to Teleport, Hotel Krot, and then let's go and see if we can level up, chat. I think we might be able to level up twice, and that's like the maximum.
I'll use my power.
Let's see here. So, we could upgrade HP. That would probably be really beneficial for us. Vigor is also very, very beneficial as well. We're gonna do HP for survivability. I think that's smart. And we have 2,000 right now. How much do I need to level up?
I'll use my power.
Let's see here. I need like 3,000 something. 3, 4, 6, 7.
Welcome to
3, 4, 6, 7, huh? Let's see here, chat. 3,467. So that is... It's about 800, right? 467.
I'll use my power.
There we go. Alright. Ooh, actually, you know what I need to do?
at the House of Any.
Let's take a look here.
You know that stalker? The Hound? Is it true you brought him here? Wow, I didn't know he was still alive. Thank heavens. I haven't seen him in person, and I don't know how I'd react. How do you thank the man who saved your life? I'm so glad that someone so kind has reached safety. And speaking of safety, please take care of yourself out there.
Well, I try my best.
You're not the only one who's curious. Most people get around to asking where I'm from. My looks give it away, don't they? Suffice it to say, I'm from the country of the morning, beyond the ocean. But I wouldn't be much of a tour guide. All I know about it is their weapons. My family was a house of weapons specialists. It's quite a reputation to live up to. They almost took charge of planning for the grand exhibition. But that's their reputation, not mine. And they deserted me when I was little. I don't even know who they are. And my reputation is my own. I suppose my only connection to them would be weapons. So I'm an orphan, and that hardly makes me exotic and crot. Can I help you with anything else?
Let's see here. Upgrade weapons. Yes, please. Ooh, I need 4 of them and I only have 2. That's painful, chat. That is painful. Okay.
At the house of any...
I know my way around it.
Nice. Okay, okay. So we have +5/+5 of these 2 weapons. Alright, alright. I was hoping I might be able to upgrade my glaive, but it doesn't look like that's happening, which is a little bit of a shame. So this one does 184 + 66. Okay, that's a pretty substantial number. This one does 191 + 57, so it's a little bit of a step down, a little bit. Let me actually see here. So... let me take a look. Calculator? 250. And then... 248. Okay, so... the booster glaive does only slightly less damage. Interesting. And if I were to... let me see here. Where is... the good old lady here?
I know my way around it.
Alter handle. So for this one... So it seems like changing it to be more motivity compared to right now, I would only get like a damage increase of 1 compared to what it currently is at. So it's not like some kind of a major, you know, major buff to the weapon to change it. I suppose I could move this one to A. That might not be a bad idea. Get some more electric blitz attack. It's not bad. This one, yeah, no kind of benefit from changing the handle at all. Yikes. Okay. Alright. Malum District, here we go. I want to get that treasure chest, but I don't know how to get it. I can't talk to them, can I? I guess I can't. Nothing over here? Alright. Oof. This is not going to be a fun fight, chat. I can already tell. I think this is probably the very first fight in the entire game where I am more than happy to summon you know, a helper for it. Yeah. Alright. Let's do this. Investigate. Awaken a specter? Okay. Alright. Let's see what happens. Cutscene time, chat. She looks cute. God damn. The rest of these people, I don't like them. I see we have the supervillain pose.
Bring it on. You ain't seen nothing like my brother.
Boys, mine! Mine! Root for me, brothers!
Nice.
Oh no! Knock him out, bro!
It's my turn! So this is Geppetto's pup now, huh? Gotta admit, he knows what he's doing. Boys are fighting fair. You ride the win. You're no bastard. You're a sweeper. This news is yours.
This puppet's crazy!
Let me guess. There's a phase 2, chat. Let me guess.
Damn you. You'll pay for that.
Are we done? Oh. Oh, nice. Okay. Wow. Well, my good sir, Mr. Spectre, thank you so much for the help. That was a very close attempt. I would have died if I did not have the Spectre on my side. Without any doubt. God damn. Alright. Let's see here. Let's teleport. Wait, why does it show that there is something here? What's going on? What's around here? I can't go up there. I'm blocked off there. Wait. Is there a ladder or something that I'm supposed to go to? Maybe I'm supposed to go back out here? It's showing something, chat. I don't know what it is, but it's showing something. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, chat. I can totally understand why they did not put a phase 2 for that fight. I totally understand, and I think that that was the right decision. I think if they had put a phase 2 for that boss fight, I probably would have wanted to uninstall the game immediately. That probably would have been really, really annoying. Yeah, so I'm very, very glad that they did not. And I'm also very glad I brought a Spectre in, because trying to do the fight solo, I probably would have hated that entire, you know, experience. All puppets will die, also anyone who messed with the Black Rabbit Brotherhood. Very nice, nice sign. Black Rabbit Brotherhood Ledger. XXXX. Sale of 10 ergo complete. I like our old broker man because he always pays well. But when he's in a hurry, it's hard to secure the ergo he needs. Sometimes I wonder if he devours it or something. What does he need ergo for? Does he really eat it? No scribbling on the ledger, kid. The alchemists are asking for more gold coin fruit. It's not easy to get, so this could be a problem. I think the hotel guys are slowly catching on to what's going on. We can physically clash with them, but that's a last resort. Our siblings' safety comes first. Aw, how touching, bro. Shut up. I love these notes that they put at the bottom. Acquired 5 ergo. I'm real close to the end of this job selling corpses. Just a bit more and I'll have enough to escape this blasted city. That proposal from the alchemists is tempting, but I'm running short on ergo and I'm not sure about it. Think about an expedition to the barren swamp. Get me new parts if you go out of town. A dress for me. A gun and a weapon for me. This is not your journal, dumbasses. Oh my god. This is probably the best part of the game, is the random scribblings that appear on the journals. Absolutely fantastic content. A quartz, let's fucking go, baby. A new P-organ upgrade. This is a working lift, okay. Let me go and explore the rest of this building, and then we can take that lift. Yo, is that me?
Hey, check this out. Looks like you, sorta. From a certain angle. You know, if you squint. No, I'm just kidding. No, it looks exactly like you. I mean, you see it, right? With the nose and the... Right?
Portrait of a boy. Very, very suspicious. Geppetto, I demand answers. I demand answers. Right away. This month's trend, stalker masks. Why did the stalkers start wearing animal masks? According to city historians, it was customary to wear animal masks in ancient Krat. It was one of the rituals to show off one's life when one fought the legendary rock titans. Believe it or not, but this legend is an inspiration to today's stalkers. It is not just for defense and fashion, but also for ranks that show off one's abilities. The link between rank and animal masks isn't clear, but mostly, the powerful ones choose their preferred mask first. Perhaps there might even be newbies forced to wear silly masks chosen by their seniors. In these troubled times of the petrification disease, how about refreshing your mind with an energetic stalker mask? Choose a soul animal to your liking. Various fashionable stalker masks await you. P.S. This item includes a spore filter to protect against the petrification disease, patented by the workshop. Hey bro, HQ is toast, so how about a black leopard mask? The workshop's toast too, so why would they make it? Very interesting. Interesting indeed. Alright, so we've gotten all the lore. All we need to do is go and take that lift. Now, I have a theory that the lift is going to take us to the building where that ugly monster was at. The one with the super extended arms, or it might take us to a new area. But I'm kind of hoping it takes me back. Hey, yo. You want to fight, dude?
You have no idea how happy I am to see you, Mr. Stalker.
This guy's hella suspicious. So this guy has blue hair, right? And maybe in his cane that he's holding, or his umbrella or whatever, there's blue hair as well. I wonder if his hair or his genetics is what is being used to create the petrification disease and or the, you know, puppets going crazy, right?
I never expected to see the gold coin tree in a place like this.
You can harvest gold coin fruit at set times from the gold coin tree. The fruit is used in several different places. Use boosters to speed up its growth. I see. Alright. Let's talk with this dude. Let's see what's going on. You have a lot of very suspicious things about you, buddy. Talk to me.
Hello. It's a relief to see you. I'll get straight to the point. I found the gold coin tree. Who knew it was right beside us? But there's a problem. When I tried to pick the gold coin fruit, it resisted me. I couldn't even get close. It actually burned me. It's probably because I have the petrification disease. Pathetic, yeah. So close, yet so far. If you pick some gold coin fruit for me, I'll give you a reward.
Talk. About using gold coin fruit.
I heard the alchemists made a device capable of fully utilizing gold coin fruit. I ignored it, assuming it was just a legend. You hear all sorts of wild tales about alchemists. Now that I know gold coin fruit actually exists, though, perhaps it's all true. Interact with the Saintess statue at the Grand Exhibition. You might be able to use the other powers of the gold coin fruit.
Okay, so interact with a statue. Okay, okay.
I might look urbane now, but I used to be a farmer. I'm also interested in growing trees. I heard about a vendor who sells plant alchemy boosters. They might work on this tree, too. If you come across such boosters, bring them to the tree.
I have completely forgotten where all of the vendors are, chat. I don't know.
Stalker, please. If you pick some gold coin fruit for me, I'll give you a reward.
Wait, how the heck do I have... How do I have 8 gold coin fruit? I do not remember that. Oh, wow, this is an instant revive one. Ooh, fascinating. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. So, chat, the thing that I am a little bit like, I'm very, what's the word? Very cautious, I guess, or very, like, skeptical about this. I think I remember when I was, you know, watching other people play Lies of P, I'm pretty sure that there was some kind of a discussion about how these items, right, these wish stones, I think that they are one-time use, where when you utilize them, when you activate the wish stone, these, like, you know, diamonds or whatever shape this is, this, like, square or rectangle or whatever, they are consumed and they disappear, right? So every time that you want to use the wish stone, you have to make sure that you have one of these things equipped, and it does not, like, these things do not reappear, they don't regenerate if you go and sit down at a stargazer, right? Assuming that is truthful, assuming that I am not misremembering, then I need to be very careful with how I spend my gold coin fruit, because I do not want to waste it on a wish stone that, you know, maybe I will never use, or maybe I will end up basically using the wish stone too much, and then I'll run out of the gold coin fruit, and I'll also run out of wish stones to be able to use in combat, right? So yeah, I think for the time being, I'm going to not buy anything, and I'm going to just hold on to the fruit that I have. Okay. 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. There's a hidden door there. This is not an exit. Okay, okay. Holy shit, chat. What a fucking shortcut. Interesting, interesting. So, let me level up.
I'll use my power to help you.
Let's see here. Let's do, I think I can upgrade, like, twice, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, twice. Okay. Oh wow, it shows it in the left side here, 2 minutes until I can get another golden coin. Golden coin fruit, I should say. Okay. Teleport. I need to speak to Geppetto now, huh? Alright, it's lore time, baby. Let's go and ask Geppetto some very, very serious questions here. You know, chat, I always had a feeling that the door that we just now walked through, where that tree was, I always thought that door looked like, you know, an entrance or an exit. Because, I don't know if you guys remember, but I believe on that door, there was, like, a painting of, I think it was, like, a painting of the ocean, and then there was, like, a ship sailing on it, and it was, like, maybe sunrise or sunset. And I looked at that small little door, and I was like, this door looks like it should be either openable or closable. Like, it looked very, very, very much like an important door. So I'm not really too shocked that the door leads to the tree.
You're back. The Malum district was as grim as we feared, was it not? But with the Black Rabbit Brotherhood out of the picture, we can focus elsewhere. And why not strike at the root of the problem? The King of Puppets' lair is on Rosa Isabel Street. Perhaps the puppet frenzy will come to an end if we can take down their king. Go to Antonia and get the key to Rosa Isabel Street. I already let her know you'll be coming by. I always remember these favors you've done for me, though it pains me to send someone so precious into such peril. This portrait. I remember it fondly. I thought it was lost forever. I had no idea the Black Rabbit Brotherhood had stolen it. To think that you have brought it back to me. Forgive a foolish old man his memories. Memories of a happier time, my son. I know just where to hang it in the hotel.
That looks a little bit creepy, but sure. Chat, I feel like Geppetto is a very complex character that may not be perfectly good. I feel like he might be a little bit suspicious, a little bit flawed. But for the time being, he's not trying to kill us yet, so... Let's see here. Enhances the recovery effect of pulse cells. Increases the number of belt-equipable slots. Increases the maximum number of cube uses. Shortens the golden coin tree's fruit-bearing time. Damn, all of these require 3, chat. Seems like we need to get 1 more quartz. One thing that I do need to figure out, chat. Is there a quick way for me to get down? There we go. I think there was a chest that I know was in a building, and I did not know how to get to that chest, and I want to figure it out. I don't know how to get up there, chat. I need to figure out what the heck I need to do to get up there. Yeah, that's strange, chat. I do not see, what's it called? I do not see any sort of pathway or whatever. Welcome to the territory of the Black Rabbit Brotherhood. Remember, anyone who fails to pay attention, well, pay the protection fee on time is headed straight for the coffin. Well, aren't they just a very welcoming crew of people? I wonder if maybe you go over here, chat. Okay, let's see here. So if I climb up this ladder, I don't know if there's anywhere else that we can go, chat. I feel like the answer is no. So I was thinking, like, maybe we could stay up top here and, like, you know, jump across the rooftops to get there. But I do not think that's it. Yeah, I don't know, chat. I think this is something that I might have to Google. Probably the very, very first time that I've needed to, like, look something up. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know, chat. I do not really have an answer. Alright, let me see here. Okay, let's go to this. Okay, we're gonna search, actually, let me see here. Malum District. Charity Hall? Is that it? Oh, the Monad Chair. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. Go away. I need the ad blocker on this stupid website. Monad Charity House. I'm pretty sure it'll be much better if I search on YouTube, to be completely honest. Let me see here, chat. So, Monad Charity House. Oh man, they didn't put chapters or anything here. Sorry, chat. I'm kind of just like skimming through the video here. You know what I can actually do? I can see if I can capture my screen here and show you guys what exactly I'm looking at. So if I go to browser and then boom, there we go. So yeah, I'm basically looking at this video guide here, and I'm kind of skimming through trying to figure out the part where they get to the area. Okay, so they made it into this area. How the heck are they going to get upstairs? That's what I'm curious about, chat. One thing that I am a little bit worried about is I'm a little worried that the second floor area is inaccessible. Oh my god, there's a fucking ladder. Holy shit, chat. Holy shit. Yeah, so this right here, you know, that video, that moment, is basically one of the #1 reasons why, you know, in Souls games, I really, really hate it when it's so freaking dark that you can't see a goddamn thing. That is why I'm not a big fan of it. Like, dude, this is so hidden right here. I didn't even, like, realize that a ladder existed in this spot. Oh, hello there, Mr. Vendor. Legion Caliber, let's fucking go. Alright.
Oh, you defeated the Black Rabbits? I sure wasn't expecting that. No more bosses means no more worries. Of course I'll open the shop for the guy who freed the Malum district. Take all the time you need.
Hell yeah, baby. What do you have? Cluster grenade. Ooh, that sounds nice. Shot put. God damn. Thermite. Throwing cell. Carcass body fluid. I'm assuming this is acid. Yep. I have 0 acid abrasive. Bramble curved sword blade. Ooh. Arch shock cartridge. Enhance resistance to shock. Okay, okay. Interesting. Oh, a record. Ooh, I see, I see. Interesting. So I need 5,800, basically. 5,800. I should have enough, I think. 3... Okay. 5,800, so I basically need, like that. And then... There we go. Purchase. And then purchase. Nice. Literally 2 ergo left over. So I wonder if this cartridge here is a, I wonder if it's like a permanent item that replenishes every time that you rest at a Stargazer. If so, I think that's worth buying. If not, it's a little bit pricey. Okay. So, down we go. Down the hidden ladder that I didn't even know existed. Rest here. Teleport. Let's go to Hotel Krot. And there is a couple things I need to do. 1, I need to collect some golden fruit. And then 2, I need to speak with the old lady to get the key.
Les flocons de neige qui brillent dans le ciel nocturnement réconfortent. Je t'attends seul dans le noir. Je t'attends depuis trop longtemps. Je peux t'entendre dans mon cœur, un murmure de ma propre confession. Le moment de te rencontrer maintenant. Écoute mon cœur, où es-tu maintenant? Il s'agit d'attendre toute ma vie. N'entends-tu pas ma petite voix? Je t'attends depuis longtemps.
It kind of has like a romantic tune to it, but also at the same time, it's kind of upbeat. It's not at all bad. I'm quite the fan.
Le vent qui me caresse, un ciel brillant. Serait-il possible que je te murmure à ton oreille? Si vous avez une longue journée, te souviens-tu de moi souffrant? Écoute mon cœur, je t'attendrai même. Si j'ai mal au cœur, pour que tu puisses entendre ma petite voix, je t'attendrai. Je t'attendrai.
Nope, 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 nope. We ain't gonna listen to that. That one is a little bit too, sad for us. Okay. Let's chat with the lady, see what she has to say.
Hurry up. I heard from Geppetto. Rosa Isabel Street is ever so dangerous, I'm told. I hoped we wouldn't have to unlock the passage there. But if we want to stop this disaster once and for all, I fear we've no choice. Geppetto and I care about you very much, you know. Stay safe. For both of us. I feel like my time is slowly coming to an end. However, it's a nice feeling to know that someone waits for you. That someone cares. Please take care out there.
Yes, Grandma. I feel like she probably has, like, the petrification disease on, like, half of her face, which is why, you know, she says that she feels like her time is short. But, anywho, chat. Let's see here. So, we want to... I think it's this way, is it? Let me see here. Monka W? Okay. So what I'm gonna do, chat, is, we're gonna go down here. I need to go to this machine here. Let's see here. Switch Legion Arm. Craft? I don't think craft is the right one. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have a Legion plug. I actually don't know where the heck you find the Legion plug, but, yeah, I would really, really like to get one. Legion Caliber. Increases fire attack range. Fulminous. Movable charge enables moving while charging electrical blitz. And then we have Puppet String. Hold the Legion Arm button to track an enemy. Alright, Chad, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna upgrade this one right here, because I think, you know, out of the 3 different Legion arms that we have, this particular upgrade here is the most significant. It's the most, like, you know, valuable upgrade to spend the, Legion Caliber on. Upgrading the Flame one is not bad. I think it's good having increased range, but, like, I think that, honestly, the Electrical Shock, Legion arm is not really that, strong, not really that powerful and viable without this upgrade. So I think we're going to go ahead and unlock it, is what we're going to do. Yes. There we go. That's actually not a bad upgrade. Although I wish I had more Legion Caliber. God damn, that's an explosion. Alright. So, let's see here, chat. We did that. Let me go and check the, I'm gonna check the tree. Check the golden coin fruit tree. Because we want to make sure that we are not wasting those fruit. Want to collect them before they overcap. There we go. Nice. Okay. And then I do remember that the alchemist guy, he said that he said that, like, you can go to the statue at the church or whatever, and interacting with it will do something if you have golden fruit. So let me see here. I don't think it's this one. No. Is this the one? Or am I think I might be going too far. I think this might be the wrong church. I'm trying to remember. But I think the church where I met the alchemist was somewhere nearby or somewhere past, like, Moonlight Town. Yeah, this is the wrong one. Wait, hold on. What is this? Does this do anything? Nah. Okay. So let's see here. If I go to Path of Misery, maybe? I don't know if this is, maybe not back far enough. I think it was somewhere around here, chat. I just don't remember exactly where. Okay, okay. I think this was it, chat. By the way, where is my... Oh my god, never mind. I thought my light was completely turned off the entire time. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. So... I do remember going down here. This is where we, you know, first met the alchemist. Oh, there's a chest. Okay, hello. Belford Break Cartridge. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, so I think the alchemist guy, right, when he talked to us, he mentioned something about, like, the Grand Exhibition Hall or something. I don't know what exactly it was that he was referring to. But I thought that he was talking about this area right here. Unfortunately, that is not accurate. So, let me see here. Interesting, interesting. I wonder if he was talking about the like, random bust, that, you know, is located nearby the tree, the golden fruit tree. I wonder if that's it. And maybe he was just saying go towards that statue and then the secret entrance will open up and you'll be good to go. Alright, is there anything else that I'm missing here? Any... Okay, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. So, chat, I think what we're going to do is we are going to basically see if it's possible to unlock the very, very first Stargazer that is in this area. And then after that, we will very likely conclude today's live stream there, is what we'll do. Since today's live stream was kind of like an impromptu, spontaneous one. Monka W. Oh, it is possible to go back, I think. Or at least I hope. Maybe I'm wrong.
Rosa Isabel Street, the entertainment district. You might call it extravagant. Operas, operettas, street concerts, all running 24/7. Adelina Corday, the singer in the red dress. Oh, she was the most famous of them all. The legendary prima donna. Well, I'm not sure if she's still alive, so while the past tense makes sense, it's getting a little depressing.
And whose fault is that? Oh, I didn't make it depressing. Okay. Very, very cool, chat. Very cool. Well, that seems like an item that we cannot grab. Yeah, okay. Well, I think we're gonna stop here, chat. I think this is where we will wrap things up. As I mentioned, you know, today is not a day where I am scheduled to stream. And, you know, I talked about this idea at the beginning of my stream. I don't know whether it'll happen. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But, you know, I am thinking that maybe, potentially, I might stream tomorrow. If I do, then that's fantastic. You know, I will go live and we can explore Rosa Isabel Street. We can have some fun progressing forward with Lies of P. But if I do not go live, then the next time you guys will see me is basically like roughly 2 days from now, more or less. It's going to be on Friday. And on Friday, I am going to try my hardest to go live as soon as possible. You know, I'm going to take a moment to chat with you guys because I forgot to talk about this while I was playing the game. So today, the reason why I had sort of a super late start to my stream, I started at 10 p.m. You know, for those of you who are unfamiliar with, like, my game history, right? I play Genshin Impact and I play Wuthering Waves as two of, like, my long-lasting daily games that I kind of grind. You know, since they have daily tasks or objectives or whatever, right? And, so, I believe it was yesterday. Wait, yeah, it was yesterday. It was Tuesday of this week. Genshin Impact had their brand new update drop. And so I played a little bit of Genshin yesterday, and I was, like, you know, doing a little bit of grinding in that game. And then today, on Wednesday, Wuthering Waves had their brand new update drop. So, essentially, I had to kind of wait until the update released and maintenance was finished so that I could log into the game and do my dailies so that I don't have to play the game on stream, right? And I can focus solely on Lies of P, right? You know, on the topic of Genshin and Wuthering Waves, right? Some of you out there who know that I used to play these games on stream, you guys might be wondering, is he, you know, going to stream those games again? Are they going to make a return at some point? What I can tell you is that for the time being, right, as of right now, I don't really have any sort of particular, like, desire to play those two games on stream. I would say that, like, generally speaking, for the current versions of Genshin and Wuthering Waves, right, the two games currently, the content that is available in those two games, you know, there is new content because they just now had version updates. The content in those two games, I am not particularly super excited about them. You know, I think that I would say especially for Wuthering Waves, and a little bit less so for Genshin, these games nowadays, what they have become is two games where every update I look at who are the characters that are available. Are there new characters? Are there old characters? What do the banners look like, right? And if the banners look interesting, then I'm motivated to play. But if the banners are like kind of mediocre or they downright suck, I don't have any desire to grind the games and play the games, right? And so right now, I know for a fact that in Wuthering Waves, I will not be pulling on the banners, right? Because the brand new character that is currently available, her name is Cantarella. Cantarella is a character that, like, visually she looks very, impressive, very beautiful. But I spoke to some other players and I was like, what kind of character is she? And the way that they described her character in combat is not something that I care about, not something that I particularly find to be interesting. So I have decided that I'm not going to be pulling for her. And I'm going to be waiting for, whatever the next banners are. And I'll see, okay, do I want to pull for this next character? Or do I want to just continue saving, right? So for Wuthering Waves specifically, I know for a fact that I do not care about streaming it. I don't have any motivation, any desire to stream Wuthering Waves. For Genshin Impact, it is a similar case where right now I am not very impressed by the new character by the name of Veressa. And the main reason why is just because her combat playstyle, it seems a little bit niche and a little bit unique in a manner that I don't particularly vibe with. I think her character is very adorable and very cute, but I don't think that she's necessarily worth spending a lot of Primo Gems on, right? So there is like maybe a 90% chance that I will not be pulling for Veressa. As for streaming Genshin, right? I think there's only one reason why I want to, or I would want to stream Genshin, and that reason is that with the brand new update, right, with the brand new content that Genshin has released, there is a brand new quest, and I believe it is an Archon quest. I believe it's one of like the big major quest lines, and I think that streaming that quest would not be a bad idea. I think that it would be something where like, I would be happy to experience it, on stream with other people and record my experience playing through the quest, right? Rather than doing it all offline. I could do that. I think my only like worry is that I kind of don't want to interrupt my Lies of P playthrough with Genshin. Like I don't want to have several different streams where I play Lies of P back to back to back to back to back, and then all of a sudden, the next live stream that I do, randomly I do Genshin Impact out of nowhere, So I will need to really sit down and think whether I want to stream Genshin on Twitch. Like, maybe what I could do is I could instead play the Genshin, like, quest offline, but I could record it on YouTube and release it for YouTube people to watch if they want to. And then on Twitch, I stick to only playing Lies of P and Variety, right? So, yeah, but basically, one of the big reasons today why I started stream so late is because I was doing Wuthering Waves content. And, yesterday I basically did not stream because of Genshin Impact's update, as well as the fact that I was, doing things regarding the Severance TV show. I was gathering the material that I need for that TV show to be able to watch it, right? So yeah, but that's basically it. I think that, fingers crossed, knock on wood, I'm hoping I do not jinx this. On Friday, that is a guaranteed day where I will be going live for sure. I'm going to try to go live and stream as early as humanly possible. I will try and go live like, I don't know, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. in the afternoon at the earliest, if I'm able to make it. And then we can go from there. We can have a fun time playing some Lies of P. But yeah, as I said, I do not know if I will be live streaming on Thursday, which is technically already today. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, but I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow, right, on Thursday. So yeah. But in any case, I think we made some good progress today. We beat like a major boss fight. We beat the Black Rabbit Brotherhood. Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very glad that we fought the boss the way that we did, because, when you have a boss fight where there are multiple enemies, multiple bosses that you are up against at the same time, I feel like making it more fair for yourself by including, you know, one or multiple helpers is very much a viable strategy, and very much something that, like, should never be frowned upon. It should never be something that another person, you know, insults you for, right? And I'm glad that we fought the boss the way that we did. I'm glad that we managed to beat the, you know, I think it's like the Brotherhood trio or quadruple or quintuple. I'm glad we were able to beat the siblings on the first try. That is something that I'm very, very happy with, without a doubt. But yeah, we made some good progress, and we're getting closer and closer to the finale of the game. I think that right now, if I were to guess how far we are into Lies of P, I would say we are probably at the very least 60% of the way through the game. I think 60% is a good estimate. We still have about 40% left to explore and to, you know, witness. But we are getting ever so closer to the finale, one step at a time, right? Baby steps. So yeah. But I appreciate anyone who swung by to check out the stream, to say hello, to, you know, basically just watch me suck at this game, watch me die and suffer quite a lot. Yeah, and I want to give a massive shout out to Pixels, by the way, for, you know, coming in with the resubscription. For those who don't know, I'm actually going to give him a shout out here. Pixels with Coffee is a dear friend of mine, a homie, an absolute legend. He is basically a content creator who loves to play a lot of different variety games. He is a big fan of Marvel. He's also a really big fan of Monster Hunter, and, you know, a lot of different kind of like, yeah, a lot of different various franchises, ones that are popular and then other franchises that are maybe not as popular, right? Pixels, I would say that, like, you know, especially recently, Pixels has not been able to stream on Twitch. The main reason why is because he has been busy IRL. He's been traveling. He went to a trip to Japan recently, which is really fucking cool, and I'm very jealous of Pixels. He also went to a domestic trip to a different state here in the U.S. And you know, spent some time there. So he's been very, very, very occupied, very busy recently with his life. But one thing that I know for a fact is if you guys are interested in checking out his, like, more unique content, I would highly recommend you guys go and follow his Instagram account, because he does post quite a bit on Instagram. That's like, I think Instagram is kind of Pixel's main social media. And then when Pixels has some free time, he does like to stream on Twitch occasionally. Sometimes he likes to create YouTube videos, or you know, maybe some Instagram reels or whatever. But yeah, Pixels is a lovely human being. I appreciate him a lot, and massive shout out to him. Yeah. Once again, you know, I talked about this a little bit, talked about Banjo the Uncle, a wonderful legendary streamer who is a massive inspiration for me, right? As someone who enjoys Souls games. Massive congratulations to Banjo for, you know, achieving Twitch Partner. That is one of the biggest achievements or accomplishments that you could obtain, you know, as someone who utilizes the Twitch platform, right? So massive congrats to him. You know, he deserves all of the success that, you know, he has earned, and I am very, very happy for him. But yeah, you know, kind of on the topic of my own channel and my own content, chat, basically I'm gonna continue trying to focus on playing more Souls games, playing more variety games, rather than what I did before, and I'll see what happens with that. I'll see if people like that. I'll see if people, you know, if they vibe with that or not, and that'll kind of determine what the future of my channel is going to be, basically. But yeah, in any case, chat, that's going to do it for tonight. That's all for today's stream. Let me see if I can find someone to raid. However, before we find someone to raid, I do see there's a sign here. There's a little banner that's lighting up. Let's see what this says. The Witch's Tower and Princess, the final performance by Adelina, the greatest prima donna. Okay. Experience their passionate stories. Interesting. Okay. So this Adelina character, they appear to be very, very, very important to the story. Very important. Anywho. Chat, let's go ahead and open up Twitch here. Let me see who the heck is live streaming at the moment. Oof. What a shame. Alright, chat. I think what we're gonna do is we are gonna raid over to the Ferret Software live stream, just because the only other streamer that I would want to raid who's currently online, they do not allow small raids. They only allow raids from like big streamers. So yeah, we are gonna have to go ahead and raid the Ferret Software live stream instead. Yeah, that's what we'll do. One last thing that I will just very quickly, very briefly mention to you guys. Let me see here. First of all, let me pull up my... Okay, pulling up my outro song here. So, I think since the last time you guys saw me, which was on Sunday, I believe. Yeah. Since the last time you guys saw me, I have done two things that I think I very briefly mentioned it during my previous live stream, but I'll talk about it. Number one is I finished watching the anime called Blue Box, right? Blue Box is a romance anime, a romance drama anime that is 25 episodes long, and I thought that it was only 24 episodes, but they ended up releasing one more additional episode after 24. And I watched the final episode. I think I watched it on maybe Monday is when it happened. So I finished Blue Box, and you know, I'm not going to go into too much detail about what I've already talked about with that anime, because I think I've said quite a lot in my previous VODs. Basically, all you need to know is that the Blue Box anime overall, as a whole, it is very, very, very disappointing for me personally. I feel like the ending was garbage for Season 1, and I felt like the problems that I observed with that anime, they did not resolve those problems by the end of Season 1. So, I would probably give Blue Box a 6 out of 10 score, and if, hypothetically, a Season 2 of the anime is not announced and is not confirmed, then I will drop that score down to a 4 out of 10, because not having a Season 2 to continue the garbage conclusion of Season 1, that is honestly like a crime, an anime crime. I feel like it's so disappointing and disgusting, the way that it currently is, right? So yeah, I would say, you know, to anyone out there, if you enjoy good quality romance, do not go and watch Blue Box. I don't think Blue Box is good. I don't think it's worth your time. I don't think it's a good quality story at all. Yeah, this is probably one of the very rare few times where I will not recommend an anime to you guys. After Blue Box, I did actually end up watching another anime. This anime is one where, you know, it came out a long while ago, and when I discovered this anime and I read the plot synopsis and everything, I kind of realized that this anime is, it's not an anime that is meant to be taken very seriously, you know? It's, yeah, it's basically just not really an anime that you should be expecting it to be perfection. You know, you should not be expecting it to, wow you and blow you away, right? Yeah. And so this is like one of those anime where you kind of sit down on the couch, you grab a bucket of popcorn, you start munching on popcorn, you turn your brain off, and you kind of just enjoy the wacky silliness, the crazy, dumb fun, right? The name of this anime that, you know, I watched, it's called Osamake, the rom-com where the childhood friend won't lose, right? And, yeah, it's a very, very just, like, simple, wacky anime that is, just very plain, dumb fun. You know, it's not meant to be taken seriously. It is, you know, not an anime that is very complex or sophisticated or, you know, very, like, deep or philosophical or anything like that. It's kind of just, like, I would say it's sort of like a story, a romance story that is, you know, kind of designed for maybe like young teenagers, right? And that's basically it, right? Nothing much else. So yeah, Osamake, it's okay. It's not bad. I would probably, you know, it's very interesting. I think that I would give Osamake like a solid, I think I'd give it like a solid, you know, 6 out of 10. However, the thing is that, you know, when I say that Osamake is a 6 out of 10 quality, I am not saying that Osamake is garbage. You know, I'm not saying that it is horrible and that you should not watch it. I'm just saying that, like, the you know, the sort of like storytelling, the plot and everything, right? Yeah, it's like a story that was specifically designed, specifically engineered to target like teenagers and younger kids rather than adults, right? And you know, for that, I think it does a good job. Like, I think that if I were younger, if I were a teenager, or if I were like a preteen or whatever, and I was watching this anime, you know, I would probably be like, holy crap, this anime is like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, right? Because of how goofy it is, how silly it is, how dumb it is, right? But as an adult, I rate it a little bit lower. The difference between, you know, Osamake and an anime like Blue Box is that Blue Box, like, it was intended to be an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Like that was the goal that it was trying to achieve, that it was trying to, you know, convince people of. But when I watched it and I expected it to be really, really, really good, it let me down. It disappointed me very much so. And because of that, I have to drop it down to like a 6 out of 10. I could even be more, you know, harsh and more insulting. I could say that it's like a 4 or 5 out of 10. But I think that I have to give some credit to Blue Box for having some really, really good qualities, whereas they fucked up on other qualities. So it's like, I think a 6 out of 10 is very, very fair. Yeah, and like, you know, when you look at an anime like Osamake, you don't really expect it to be an 8 or a 9 out of 10. And so when it achieves a score of 6 out of 10, you're like, you know what? That is a very reasonable and very, like, you know, I would say like a very realistic, very understandable, very I guess like optimistic, you know, perspective of Osamake. Yeah, and then the difference is just that Blue Box was meant to be good. It was meant to be really, really enjoyable. But then they butchered it and they fucked it up and they dropped the score down from like an 8 out of 10 to a 6 or a 5 out of 10, right? Yeah. So that's what I did. I really want to like continue watching anime. Chat, I want to continue, you know, binging more shows. I don't know what I'm gonna watch next, but one anime that has been on my list for a very long time that I think might be something that I potentially enjoy is an old anime. This anime came out maybe like possibly a decade ago, but it could be maybe like, you know, 6-7 years ago or something. There's an anime called Spice and Wolf, and I've never ever watched the anime, but I've heard that people who have watched it, they seem to like it. And the one of the big reasons why I'm interested in checking it out is that one of the websites that I use for looking at different anime and seeing like what reviews people gave it, there's an anime website that I use called Anime Planet, and they have a really, really cool system where they basically organize the anime into different genres, but they don't only use the genres that are like very well known, that are very widely popular, right? It's not just like, oh, shonen, romance, sci-fi, fantasy, what else is there? Like yaoi and all this other stuff, right? They don't only focus on like the big broad genres, they also go deep into like subgenres. And so the thing I really like about Anime Planet is on their website you have like these different subgenres. One of the subgenres that I like to look at, that I like to see what is available, is a subgenre called mature romance, which is basically stories where the plot revolves around a relationship between like two mature characters, two adults, right? Usually this features either, you know, adult men and adult women, or like college guys and college girls, right? It's usually not, you know, the kind of like immature, childish romance that you would see targeted towards high school kids or middle school kids or whatever, right? It's more like, I would say, more realistic, more down-to-earth, more relatable romance stories, in my opinion. So, you know, when I looked at the mature romance subgenre on Anime Planet, the Spice and Wolf franchise was listed as one of the anime there. So I decided that I want to give it a watch and see, you know, whether it's good or not, and why people out there like this anime, you know, what makes it so enjoyable. But yeah, like, other than Spice and Wolf, right now, I think I'm basically waiting on two very big anime to finish before I binge watch those ones. First is an anime called Apothecary Diaries, and then that one is season 2, and then I also need to watch Solo Leveling season 2 as well. So those two anime, I'm waiting for both of them to stop airing, and then I will binge watch them. But yeah. In any case, chat, that's it for me. We're done with the show. We're concluding the stream here. No more yapping. Let's go ahead and get the raid started, shall we? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do sub-raid, then I'm going to do raid, and then I'm going to do... Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Barrett software. There we go. And then, yeah, let me actually... You know what I'm going to do, chat? Give me a quick second. I want to check something very, very quickly. Okay, it looks like I didn't miss anything then. Yeah, I was just triple checking because you know, one of the streamers that I love to watch, Premiere 2, aka Pete, right? Pete mentioned that he was going to be going live and streaming later today, right? Because I think right now in Japan it's like it's getting close to nighttime if I'm not mistaken, or it's like maybe it's already midnight or something in Japan. Let me see here. It is. Hold on. Oh wow, yeah. So it's almost 7 p.m. in Japan. So I was checking because you know, basically yeah, like, he said that he was going to be going live, he was going to be streaming, and he has a sponsorship for the brand new Assassin's Creed game, right? So I was checking to see, like, okay, did he already go live, or is he planning to go live soon? But it doesn't seem like he is. Yeah, it seems like maybe he'll be going live at, like, I don't know, 7:30 or 8 p.m. or even, like, 9 p.m. or something. But, yeah, unfortunately, I am not going to be able to wait around for him to raid him. Okay. Let me see here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Chat, you know, sometimes checking things on Discord, it makes you depressed. Jesus. You know, I'll very quickly mention this before we start any raid. There is actually one reason why, there's one reason why I do think it's a smart idea to kind of step away from streaming Genshin and Wuthering Waves. For those of you out there who don't really know a lot about these games, about Genshin, about Wuthering Waves, right now, I feel like on the internet, there has been this, this stupid bullshit, like, drama, and this, like, online fighting, this, like, war, between Genshin and Wuthering Waves, and then, like, even within Genshin, like, Genshin by itself, not even, like, talking about Wuthering Waves, within the Genshin, you know, space, the industry and community and whatever, there has been problems. And then also within Wuthering Waves, like the community and the fan base and everything, right? Within Wuthering Waves, that you know, separate bubble, there's also problems going on, right? And I look at the situation from an outside perspective, you know, because I don't really get myself involved in these particular fights, arguments and debates and whatever. As an outside observer, it all looks and sounds so incredibly fucking stupid. It's like a bunch of, you know, elementary school children fighting with each other. And I'm just like, holy cow, humanity is doomed. Like, this is garbage, right? And I think that it's gotten to the point where I'm so sick and tired of every day hearing about, like, oh, in the Genshin community there's this drama, in Wuthering Waves community there's this drama, and it never stops. Never ever stops. And I'm just sick and tired of it being talked about, being discussed, and I'm like, I want it all to end, and I you know, I don't want anything to do with all this crap. Like, I want to stay far away from it, you know? So I think that is one of the reasons why it's a smart, wise idea to stop, like, streaming and stop trying to create content about these games, because it's just both like communities, both bubbles for Genshin and Wuthering Waves, right? Both of these two bubbles, they have so much, like, toxicity in both of them, and I'm just like, I'm so exhausted, mentally exhausted with both of them, and I'm just like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, let me step away from all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely crazy shit. Which is why sometimes reading Discord messages, it depresses me, or it frustrates me, or annoys me, or whatever, right? But yeah, anyways, chat. So let me see here. I'm gonna go ahead and... Okay, let me grab my channel mascot. Oh, look at him. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's so massive. Hello, hello, chat. I'm gonna grab my mascot, and we're gonna say our goodbyes. Chat, today's stream was good. You know, it's kind of interesting. Like, I think that every time that I stream Lies of P, you know, there is a moment before I start streaming the game where in my head I think to myself, oh man, I don't know if I'm motivated to play the game because, you know, there's a part of me where I feel like in Lies of P, I might come across a boss fight that I hate that is really, really annoying and really frustrating, right? For example, the Archbishop Andreas fight, right? And so I think to myself, man, do I really want to stream Lies of P, you know? And I have a moment where I doubt myself, where I'm like, maybe I shouldn't stream it. And then I think, like, once I go live, once I press the button to start streaming, and I launch the game and I load it up, I just get this weird, strange, like, opposite effect, where all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I want to play this game. I want to get through more of it. I want to progress. I want to learn more about the game. And I want to get closer and closer to beating the game because I have a lot of respect for it. I think that this game, you know, the people, the developers that put their, you know, time and effort into creating this game, I think that they truly care about this game. They truly love the game, right? And it kind of shows when you play it. So yeah, even if I did have any doubts today about going live and playing this game, it was all washed away once I got into the groove, and we managed to get all the way to the Black Rabbit Brotherhood, and we beat the boss fight on the very first try, and I'm very, very happy about that. I'm extremely, extremely satisfied with the progress that we've made during today's stream. Yeah, during the next time that I play Lies of P, whether it's, you know, Thursday, Friday, maybe it's even Saturday or Sunday, whenever that day is, we will be exploring Rosa Isabel Street for the very first time and seeing what lies ahead of us. But until then, it is going to be good night and farewell for me. So, to all of you out there, whether you were watching the stream, you currently are watching the stream, or you will be watching the VOD in the future, thank you all so much. It means the world to me. I appreciate you guys very, very, very much so. Please, everyone out there, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, eat lots of yummy, delicious food, make sure you guys drink plenty of water, always, always, always stay hydrated. Bottom line, take care of yourselves, right? Stay comfy, stay cozy, and, yeah, I will return either tomorrow, either Thursday or Friday, right? One or the other. Yeah, and you know, Friday is the latest that you will see me, so in about, I would say roughly about 1.5 days from now, 1.5 days from now, you guys are guaranteed to see me go live. And I can't wait for that. Yeah. But for now, good night, farewell chat. I will swap over to the ending screen and start up the outro song, and then after that the raid will happen, so stick around for that if you want to go and see some cute, adorable, fuzzy little ferrets. Yeah. All right. Peace out, guys. Good night. Have a good one. Bye.